What is going on, people? Jumping in on this podcast to let you know about our incredible sponsors, Trained by JP, aka TBJP, the one-stop shop for all your bodybuilding needs. Whether you're looking for supplements or clothing, they have it all. Quite possibly the biggest range of subs you will find anywhere in the world, end of. Whether you're looking for pre-workouts, stim-free or high-stim, intra-workout shakes, post-workout cream of rices, vegan supplements, it is all there for you, as well as the highest grade of health subs that you will need in your arsenal. Check them out. It's www.tb-jp.com, and on there you will also find all the clothing which they release multiple times per year, but get your hands on them quick because they are limited drops. Use the discount code MAGIC10 for money off. Help the brother out, and let's get back to the podcast. Peace.
Busy day, yeah?
Yeah, crazy, bro. I haven't been in the gym. I've literally been sat here all day since 6 this morning.
Editing.
Yeah, my eyes are fucked. What's happening, Rich?
Yes, lads. What's going on?
Rich, you're early, bro, or you're on time, and you said you're going to be late.
I thought it was, mate. So that's my time management, isn't it? If I say I'm going to be on time, probably not. If I say I'm going to be late, could
well, standard Rich, you know, chatting when he comes in and he fucking butts in and interrupts again. Standard, mate.
He loves it.
When he's fucking in the chat.
Andy standard moaning again.
You know? It's one of them that which he did.
Branded up again, Rich.
Yeah, you know, well, always, mate. Always now.
Love it.
Yeah.
I've sent Joey a link, and obviously Cheney's in the chat, so hopefully he'll be on it today. I've got like 50% left battery on this Mac, so hopefully it lasts it. What's happening, Chain? Vest on. The vest on, boy. Yeah, got you.
Bench press.
I don't know whether it was you Delts talking to me or you, bro.
It's the only thing I got, bro.
Just out the back room for some press ups. That's why he didn't come in.
Yeah.
Are the pump up bands out?
Yeah, what's happening? What's going on?
I
did prep now, Chain. I did see something on thing.
Say again, brother.
Are you still in prep now?
No, I had a bit of a nightmare.
I'm keeping this in a podcast as well, just to let you know.
Sound you as well.
Just in case you say anything.
Rolled out.
Yeah. Health-wise, I basically went into. I was in hospital one day. My blood pressure went through the roof, like 185 or 131, I think it was. So I went down. I was on a drip for like 8 hours. Obviously I got that systemic lupus, haven't I?
Yeah.
Just had a massive flare up of it basically, so it just started attacking my central nervous system, which just fucked me.
You were digging as well, weren't you? You was pushing like.
Yeah, exactly. It's gone down to pretty much like pro fats as well. Smashing cardio. I was pretty much playing catch up on cardio because obviously I couldn't get it in at the start of prep.
Yeah.
So playing catch up and
just made the best choice for long term, like.
Yeah, basically, like
it's got to be done sometimes, bro, innit, Dwayne?
Yeah,
it was the right choice, wasn't it?
A bit of a blessing in disguise, if I'm honest. Like when I watch the shows after, I've been like, "Fuck, I just want to be better anyway." Like, you know, I'm looking at
of course, bro. Like, there's no point in trying to ride yourself hard, kill yourself. Yeah, you can get ready for the show, but then do you want to bring your best package, especially when you're having other curveballs thrown you like as pushing you back and pushing you back. You know, it's the fact of you want to bring your best to that stage and you want to look your best and you want to be the, you know, happy with everything you do and everything you bring. So, yeah. Definitely. Next year, I won't put no dates on the shows, to be fair. There's so many around. I'm just going to prep hard for 12 weeks. And then I'll start to put my sights on it then from that point. Just because, there's so many options. I
think that's the best thing to do, bro. Like, you're going to be ready, and then obviously you can pick out, you see how much more you got left to dig or whatever, or how much left.
Obviously, you'll always scope out a few shows and then think, right, and this could be a possibility, this could be a possibility, but then, not really say, right, this is a 100% one, like, just because, like, when you want to bring your best, and you want things to go smoothly, like, you want it to, be perfect, running into the show, so, yeah, I think that's probably what I'm going to be doing, to be fair.
Best way, innit?
Yeah, definitely.
I think there's no pressure on it, is it? There's absolutely no pressure. I know
Exactly. The
people
only pressure
find
you put on
pressure.
is yourself, your own pressure. Do you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, it was the right choice, man. It was like, and obviously because he speaking for Cheney, like he's obviously done a few shows now, and like I knew how much he wanted to fucking just turn up and be
Yeah.
spot on, and
Well, that's
it
it.
weren't going to
Yeah.
be that, like, so.
You
And
do
like,
your first test of shows, don't you? To touch the water, see where you're at, and then when you're right in the swing, then you want to be, you want to be in the mix.
yeah,
And it's like I said to you, bro, like, the stage is always going to be there. So, it's not, I know obviously you only just announced it on like one of the podcasts you were competing in, but like I said to you at the end of the day, you've got to do things for yourself, mate. Don't worry about what anyone else is going to think, and the stage is always there, mate. So, just set your sights on the next task and just get straight to that, bro.
Yeah, and like Jay-Z, me and Jay have had the conversation and said like we're taking fucking prep out of our even word, our mouth, like for the next like
When you sent
2025, like.
that NFM thing in the group chat the other day, I was going to put fingers in. Oh, fucking hell, Jay. He wants to prep again.
No kids do this. I'm just gonna show up and take the lot. Like
that P word is banned, bro. That P word's banned.
it's gone for 2025 altogether. Like so,
Joey, what's happening?
J Dog.
Yeah, it is, man.
Can you hear us all okay? Yeah.
Yeah, I always have a frigging nightmare with my webcam whenever I need to use it for a video call. So I like restart the laptop. Sorry, I'm late.
It's all right, man. I thought it was because you're a pro now. You were making a late appearance and all that shit. Like,
yeah, just trying to set up the scene with the card.
I see.
He's got a wide lens on, hasn't he? He's got that wide lens on.
Where's the pole, mate? Have we got a pole there?
Oh, mate, the pole is. It doesn't stand up in the room, but it is connected to this. This one. So that's about.
Fucking Ellis.
Too big.
Yeah. So I'm gonna wait for the missus to get back to organise where that's gonna go. But...
Just get the fucking saw out of the garage, mate, and just cut it in half.
Oh,
mate,
you wouldn't do that.
Wedge it in.
Oh, honestly, it wasn't worth bringing it back. As soon as I found that I couldn't fit it upwards, like to stand up, the money I spent, the hassle it took to get it back, it wasn't worth it. But
yeah, put in your garden, bro. Just chuck it up at the side so everyone knows when they drive you past. Overall winner.
It literally is about as high as the blooming flagpoles that are already out there with all the English flags. I'm impressed, and I. So every frigging house has got an England flag hanging from their window since the Euros.
Yeah.
They would have took them down after shit they did in the final, but
quality, man. Well, I'm going to be the first to say, obviously, welcome to the podcast and congratulations, man. What's it been like? Week and a half? Is it week and a half-ish? Nearly 2 weeks?
Yeah, 2 weeks this Sunday coming. It'll be
Sunday. Has it settled in yet? Has it like hit home or?
Oh, mate, honestly, like, yes and no. Like, I tell you what, it's definitely done. It's kept me the pressure on. Like after a show, normally you can just like drop off. Well, it's like made me. I keep getting a constant reminder, like, shit, you're a pro now, so you've got to behave like a pro. Like you've got to act like one, earn the right. Do you know what I mean? So that's like just every time I go to think, oh, do you know what? I'm just gonna have some like, shit now.
Yeah.
My missus ain't near, boys. I can eat what I want, do what I want, yeah. And I just like every time I'm about to do it, I'm like, nah, you got to behave now. You've got to make those improvements. So it's like I've had a buzz, but I've now also got this like rejuvenated pressure.
Like another form of that extra accountability again on top, which I think it's just a good thing, man, for you.
Oh, mate, it's definitely good for me because we were speaking, weren't we, at the I shouldn't mention that Fed, but
the
they do
universe,
and that mate, honestly, I think back to those conversations because like you were amongst like multiple other people. I never would have believed, like, I dreamt it, but like it was a dream, Like I never would have thought that 3 months later, less than 3 months later, I'd be going and doing my first.
For me, seeing you there and then seeing the transition, obviously we spoke then, you said you were probably going to think about using Darren if you were going to get a coach. Then you transition through that and then to do what you did was fucking cool, man. It was good to see.
Oh, I appreciate that, bro.
Yeah, and obviously I know that. I remember that conversation. You were like, "Oh, look, I think I'd use Darren," and I was like, and the next one you were with him, and I thought, "Cool." And then I just watched you get better and better.
Yeah, well, mate, you have to remember, like I said, Darren, boys, everything happens for a reason, and I know it's easy to say, but even going down from like meeting Mia in 2021, yeah. In 2021, we were all obviously struggling with a lockdown, weren't we? We all had our own little paths and things we were going down. And like, I know for a fact, Richie, you'll agree, because you were competing at the exact same time as I was. Like, I knew I had potential to compete, like, and you probably yourself as well, mate, in the similar sort of boat where we both in 2014, 15 were like, yeah, do you know what? Like, if we took this real serious from now, we'll be pros. Because the guys you were beating in men's physique and I was beating in bodybuilding class, they were all pros in 2016, 17.
Yeah, well, I was on stage with Brian Terry in 2013 in the British, wasn't it? Mad, like. And you think, yeah, these guys, yeah, crazy, bro. But
yeah,
you've done it, bro. I just got to try and do it.
Yeah, but this is what I was going to say. It wasn't actually, I was actually about to give a big compliment. Whilst you were going away building a business and fucking smashing, having getting your own gym, I was, let's be honest, putting too much up my fucking nose, partying on the weekend. That's the truth of it, and I'm open about that because I wasted a massive period of my life through. You could call it trauma, and you could call it like. I don't like to say that anymore because I've learned to take responsibility of my actions, and that was my excuse for a long time. But yeah, I wasted a lot of time, yeah, and then the lockdown come, and because I decided to be really positive with my decisions, like, and take responsibility. I did have a counselor, and I do still see him, and he's a great guy. And Gareth's his name, just to plug him. But he started the switch, right? And everything that's happened since 2021 has been book worthy for me because, like, guys, I just always had like this way about me where I was living. All my friendships and all my like relationships were like to please whatever other people wanted me to do. So I was a complete people pleaser, but I didn't have the normal characteristics of a people pleaser where, you know, like I'm a little bit softer. I've always thought like, yeah, you know, I always felt like I had a level of respect, but I would do it in a way that only I knew that I was like letting myself down, if that makes sense, or only I was showing or doing something I didn't really want to be doing. And bodybuilding took a big back step because of that. And obviously I was eating shit, and I was watching all of you guys to a certain degree doing stuff in the gym and being like, oh, fucking, I should be doing like that, or being on it as that, but not having the capability at that time. And then since 2021, I really did give it a massive go. And I know I'm going on you, but it does get to the point in the end.
No, man, say, talk your shit, bro. That's what you hear.
Yeah, and so 2021, I finally decided, yeah, I'm going to do this now. I'm going to make it. And I had Mia, and everything was just perfect. And obviously, I don't know how many people know about it fully, but then in the start of this year, which was when I said at the start of this year, I'm going to go for it now. I was with Martin. He was fully behind the fact that I was going to go for a pro card, but we weren't sure where the class was because I was like super heavyweight style weight, 125 odd kilo I was. So then in January, starting prep, obviously get the bloods done, and then that's when I found out about the heart failure. So the reason I come back around to all that, what I said at the start, just there about like since 2021, it's been like a bit of a magic dream kind of thing. Everything's happened for a reason. It's the best thing that ever happened to me in January, finding out that about the heart, really. Because honestly, and Cheney, we were going to go, we booked, just to prove our suicide, we booked Spain. I was competing in Spain. I was going to do that show. Glad I didn't, because Andy Scott would have won the pro card anyway, so I wouldn't have fucking won it. Yeah. But we had it all planned out what I was going to do. And I know for a fact that I wouldn't have won that book card in super heavyweight. I wouldn't have won the card if I'd managed to get down to classic. The only way I was going to win that card was on the day I won it, in the class I won it, in the way I won it. Does that make sense? And that was by me being from literally that blood test to right now, and will continue being 120% a bodybuilder, and like in every aspect, and the healthiest I've ever been. I don't have to take anything now. Like the amounts I take is just crazy low.
I saw on Darren's story about it,
back down to 150 club. Like I'm on 150 meg test, and that's going to be it now. And I won't until I get everything properly sorted. But this has gone so round about the houses because I get excited. I'm drinking an ABE, by the way.
Don't blame it on the ABE, bro. This is your personality.
We all know you like.
He's coming right out. But no, Andy said about the Darren thing, and that's part of this whole thing that I'm saying. It's like a miracle because I bumped into Darren randomly. He's obviously got the same last name. Yeah, we've known each other for years. I bumped into Darren randomly at the Arnold's when the doctors told me in my GP surgery down the road, don't get your heart rate above 100. You'll never train properly again. Even my cousin, who's a doctor, who I spoke to on the phone after my MRI results, said, you won't be able to ever be like, you know, big and muscular again. You'll be able to hopefully like live like a normal life. This is my cousin, boys.
Yeah.
I'm Googling about this. It's like, you've got 5-year life expectancy. And I'm like, fuck off. I felt fine. I didn't even have a symptom. And if it wasn't for me bumping into Darren at the Arnold's and telling him about this, and he didn't even mention, there was nothing about coaching, no ask for anything. Because I was even offering, I think then, like, oh, sure, I got to give you something for this. Because he straight away said, send me your MRI. I want to take this to John and Luke, and because obviously he's with J3, isn't he?
Yeah.
And I want to see if we can find something for you, to do for you. I spoke to multiple people at that place, boys, at the Arnold's that said, oh, I'll be able to help you out, or give me a message. And I won't name names, but other like people from big supplement companies who own supplement companies in the UK, everyone wanted to help, but like nobody actually did. And I was never going to ask because it's not, they don't owe me anything. Yeah. Darren just popped up to me 2 days after that, the Arnold's, boys. He'd flown back from there to Dubai. For far as I was aware before, and he thought I was a right twat, like most people freaking normally do. So I couldn't believe this guy's gone out of his way to just like take my MRI on after however many hours flight that would be, and then send me a protocol, boys, exactly what to do that come from the top, like from that conversation he had with those two guys.
Yeah.
But it was simple and easy for me to follow. And I can tell you it straight now, and this is all I was taking, because at the time I wasn't even taking that TRT dosage because I was being told to just come completely off, because the only way I was going to like, and one guy I spoke to said you'll be able to reset your heart basically if you come off the gear because it's a steroid-induced myopathy, but you won't hear that from the doctors. So I was umming and ahhing, like, what do I do? What do I do? Anyway, so Darren said you need to be on a low dose of test, 100 to 150. 500 milligram metformin a day, 5 milligrams Cialis in the morning, 8 milligram metformin, telmisartan. What else was I doing? Cheney, if you remember anything, remind me. That was pretty much it on that side of it. And then I was just all the JP health sub range. Specifically,
Magic 10. Just if you're gonna say,
yeah.
I'm gonna say.
To be fair, they're the only ones that seem to be the strong, like actually change up anything on my blood work. But and I was overdosing everything, like overdosing to the point of later on when I had my bloods done, my liver was like pretty high enzymes based off the amount of, I can't remember what Holly said it was, but it was something of too much I was having. And I literally was told the complete opposite from what the doctor said. You need to be doing HIIT 3 to 4 times a week.
That's crazy, man.
So I did it, and then now I'm not in heart failure. So like 12 weeks it took. I had my heart scan again 3 weeks after the Universe. I remember on the Universe, I like looked like a bag of watery dicks, didn't I? And I was like a bit flat and a bit fatigued. And I thought, oh, I'm starting to do more damage than I should be, you know. And signed up with Darren straight after. And the first thing he did was and this was the great thing, because obviously I'd had my bloods done 2 weeks after starting this, but he went, right, first of all, take your test from 80 to 100. 150. You're probably below like what you should be for your natural range because of the use of the years of doing it, obviously. And so I did that straight away. And then he said primo, put a small amount of primo. I was fucking panicking like fuck. I thought, shit, I can't be doing that. What's going to happen? Like I haven't even had anything checked. I don't know if anything's even got better from when I first had them. And when I had those bloods come back, boys, and I saw how everything was, it was like fucking hell, you can't even. All builds up to the feeling of getting the pro card, obviously, but just to know that I was going to be able, like, this sounds really gay now, right? But just to know that I was able to be alive to watch Mir go on and eventually get to Olympia, and just to get up and like, I know it sounds mad, but like just on my dog's licking my face in the morning because I'd started to write these things off
Yeah.
because I wasn't going to stop bodybuilding. And the guy's telling me you can't walk or get your heart rate above 100. I walk at 130, boys. I talk at 140, for fuck's sake.
150.
You know, so I'm going to
shut our fucking rival there now, mate.
Yeah,
it's Richie v. Joey now, isn't it?
I'm gonna shush this for a bit, but I wanted to just well, I didn't even know I was going to get that out, but that came out. That was just there.
Oh, I think we would have got to it anyway, bro. We definitely wanted to know what the crack was like. So you just let it rip. Going back to like where you were in like 2015, those early days, like you were saying, where you were doing a bit too many disco drugs and that. That's where I first saw you, mate, on Prism Dance Floor when I was DJing in there. I thought, who's this big fucker in the middle of the dance floor throwing his shoulders about? And I just started training. I went to CSN and I saw you. You were down there for a bit working, weren't you?
Yeah. Well, Mark used to prep me, didn't he?
Yeah. So I saw you then when I'd started training. I was like, that's that big cunt that was down on the fucking dance floor last week.
Every weekend, then.
I had it in my head that I knew you because you were like sponsored by Machine Fitness or something.
Yeah, it was work. Yeah, well, that was like you probably knew me from then.
Yeah.
Machine, but I knew you beforehand, obviously, because I was like, Machine was very early on, probably the first like year and a half of me having a go, like. But yeah, I knew you because at that time I was like fully in on DJing, like. So I probably saw you more than once if you were out all the time because I was always DJing in the club.
Yeah, that was me pretending to be in uni. And boys, I actually used to go up to people and be like, oh, Junior Mr. Wales, shake their hand, like, mate, I trying to pull like with that. There's no wonder I got fucking rejected half the time. But those were the days, boys. Like fucking, you have to learn to not regret them though, because they.
Well, I remember those days, like when we were down youth fit, and like obviously I remember watching the UKBFF. And I remember obviously I was competing on the circuit at the same time as you and Richie. Obviously, first time I met Richie was when I was in Jamie's flat, and we were like a week out, and Jamie was prepping Richie, and he popped over to have a look at him. And it's like funny because then I think like we all actually took a break. Like I took about 4 or 5 years away from competing. I think Richie. Is he frozen? Oh no, he's not frozen.
No, but
a few years off.
My situation was similar to Jamie, to Joey's. You know this, and like I just went on a mad
as well. You were one of the worst, mate.
Probably no one even knew that, but like mate, when you have the flexibility of and you've been so rigid for so long. And I just split up with my missus. Like I was out every weekend with the boys here in my apartment through the week. I'd staff in the gym, just like living it up, and just obviously you miss that when you're in your teenage years, when you're being so strict with bodybuilding. I think that's when I had my massive blowout then. Until about 20, till before I was born then,
And so I'm talking this blowout. Like I'd go up to your gym to train lockdown, and it'd be midday, and he's like, "Oh, do you want to get on it?" And I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna go home today, bro." Like, I'll probably on it like the night before or something.
I wish you had called me.
It was mad, like.
All the boys would be in the gym. It'd just be like a shutdown. That boxing gloves on, hitting lumps out of each other. Be there for like 2 days.
Having bike races around the gym. Remember when he bought them bikes?
Yeah.
What bikes?
Oh, just road bikes. He was going to
road bikes
at one point.
What, around the gym you got now, Rich? The same gym?
Yeah. All the benches moved everywhere. We just mate, it's carnage.
Like
you born to everywhere when you first come out, like but so I went through something similar, and Joey, like with like trauma and stuff as well, like how you're saying, also I lost my mother, but that, mate, like what you're saying about the dogs licking your face, now, mate, it opens your eyes to the things you really want in life and the things you really want to work towards, and it gives you like, you have a second chance, basically. It makes you feel that hunger for it, and I think that's kind of the process that I'm going through now as well, because when we was younger, where everyone was like, oh yeah, these guys got potential, like, do you mean? And obviously I wasted a year, same as you, but like obviously all was born then, but like this is my year now, because I built the house and everything we're now, and like competing went on the back foot, but like this is from like, I think like the end of last year, from my last prep, we've just been 100% until now. So yeah, so mate, in the same boat as like I totally feel like what you say, mate, and understand everything, mate, because it a lot relates to me, 100%. Like, so yeah.
Mate, you'll be there, no doubt. You've always had again, like I said, you've always had the potential to get it. It's just about, as I think it's timing. But it seems to me like the timing is just right for the person when it comes. So like, you know, I feel like everyone in this group's got the potential. It's just, it was my time, boys, and that day I'm fucking so happy it happened.
You probably felt like me as well, bro. Like, it is what it is, mate. Like, when you're in the sport now, when you love it and you enjoy it, bro, like, you want to look like a pro. The pro card is great. Yeah, it is the icing on the cake, but you want the to look of a pro and to bring a pro-worthy physique, like, you know, type of thing. And like, that is your goal. Like, when the card comes, it comes. If it comes, it comes. It doesn't really matter. But then when it does, like, for yourself, bro, it makes it just all that much more worth it. Like, and everything just, it's a real moment.
When you live the lifestyle for the right reasons, it all comes together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you said, though, Joe, you said when we were down the show last week, you were obviously saying about the fact that now, like, you've got work ahead of yourself now as well. So that pressure, that's like positive pressure, isn't it? So you can't, like, I get it from like Jordan about like smelling your own flowers a little bit. It's like don't smell your own flowers for too long, because it can suck you down, like, and you just got to keep on fucking grafting, because you're obviously you reached the pinnacle of the amateur circuit now, and we know where you're at now. So it's a kind of, are you excited for like this next 2-3 years of what you got ahead of you, like in terms of where you see yourself going now that you're locked in here, like?
Yeah, because do you know what? It was only yesterday I managed to get my feedback, like written feedback from one of the judges, and I knew what I was going to have to improve on. And guys, like, you know, and I shouldn't really say like, because I've got to use limited amount of gear because I've done this year with us. It'd be like me making an excuse before I start. Nah, like, you can build muscle with a small amount. So I'm not going to use that excuse, but don't get me wrong, when the judge sends you a picture of you side by side with Martin Fitzwater, of all the people she could have compared me to, she puts a picture side by side and was like, as I asked specifically, what do I need to be competitive as a pro? And she said, you've already got a pro physique with your shape and symmetry, but you need more muscle volume like this. And I'm just like, and it's literally like every single muscle group. And when she puts it side by side with this, obviously Martin Fitzwater, I'm like, fuck yeah, that's a lot of work that I'm gonna have to do, because I've not put substantial amount of muscle on in like a set time. It's just been 10 years of pushing and pulling. Like, I've been on it for a bit year, and then next time I'm back on it and doing it 6 months consistent. Obviously, I'm a bit bigger. The only time I went a lot bigger was 2021. From that 2021 season where I come back into bodybuilding, did classic 89 kilo stage weight. That was November, and then the following June I was 102 on stage. So I put on a lot, but is that a lot of muscle memory from the pre-lockdown before when I was prepping for open? Then it's like, you don't know, but I don't know. I know for a fact I'm not going to get on stage until I'm at least like going to look like a respectable pro. And what my mindset is, well, I don't want to, if I let myself get lost and not keep myself within to be considered as a pro, like, because I'm on the circuit and stuff, then I'll end up having that anxiety that I'm not up to it enough yet, or I'm not good enough to be a pro again. And I don't want to, it's like, you said about smelling the flowers, like, I'll always be super humble about bodybuilding because I still think I'm the smallest guy in this chat, right?
You've got like massive imposter syndrome, Joe. No, like
that's the word.
Even when it comes to actually turning pro, like, you never thought it would happen. Obviously, it was always a goal, and you always wanted to get there, but it was never like you truly believed you could do it. And obviously now you are a pro. Even from talking to you on the weekend, it was like you didn't even believe you were a pro at the time, or you didn't believe like you belonged. So this is why you're being like incredibly adherent now, and like obviously since show, etc.
I want to make it now, so that I'm trying to prove it to myself, boys. Like, I'm trying to prove it to myself that, like, fuck, because like, honestly, all the nice stuff and all the great things, I still have that whole that one person who said, oh, he's not big enough to turn pro. What? No, there must not have been anyone at the show. And I'm looking at the video, and I'm like, okay, there were some good heavyweights there. Like, I'm looking at some of the guys I beat that competed last week in the week after show, who placed higher in the show in a free pro card show where there was like more competitors than they did in my thing. So I was like looking at it, oh, so I did beat some good guys, you
Well,
know.
you only gotta, yeah, mate. You can't take what everyone says because, like, no one's ever gonna be, mate. When you are in the position you're in, you're always gonna have some back chatter. You're coming back to a talk shit. Fuck them anyway. Like, it's about what you think, and that's what it's all about, bro. Like, no matter where you are in life, where you're going, you're always gonna have background noise. But it's about you and your vision and moving forward. So I wouldn't even put so much because, man, I know everyone in this chat thinks that you should a well-worthy pro, and that's what matters, like the people around you, and like, mate, you know me, man. I'm a straight shooter. If I thought you wasn't, I would say, fuck, now you got lucky,
Yeah,
mate.
yeah.
But it's one of them, bro. Like, you are. Do you know what I mean? And so that's it, bro. Like, and a lot of people you probably know who are straight as well would say the same. So yeah, just don't worry about what anyone else says, mate. Just focus on you and your, what your potential is and where you're going. But what is your pro classic cap then?
See, if I did the pro classic, I was already 5 kilos on my stage weight on stage.
Yeah.
So I'm 99 on stage, like 98, 99 on stage. And my amateur classic cap is 88. So you only get 5 kilos on that.
Yeah, it's £10, isn't it? Is it £10? Moved up
Yeah,
to £10. Yeah.
So that'd be 94, 95.
Yeah.
And that was what the original plan was. So before we said me and Darren were going to try and make weight for the regional. I was at 97.5 on the regional, where I lost in the overall, but won my class 4 weeks before this when I got the card. And I stepped on the scale to try and see what I'd be for classic, to try and do the classic of the Europeans. That was the original goal. Delusional thinking I was making that weight. But anyway, I stepped on the scales and I'd shrunk since the last time I'd done classic by like a fair bit. And my cap turned to be 88 rather than the 94 I was hoping for. So Darren was like, right, well, you're definitely good enough to win your pro card in heavyweight. I couldn't believe this guy's telling me this, by the way. Like, I could not believe he's telling me this because I'm like, is he just telling me this because I'm paying him now? Like, and he's like, John and all said, I don't know how you're not pro already, and he had to explain that it's harder in Europe. And I'm like, looking at the pictures of me in my back garden, I'm like, on my own, I look skinny, like. So anyway, I'm like, I'm just gonna go with this because once I won the regional, I thought, you know what? Yeah, actually, it looks all right. Still got small arms, but you're all right. Anyway, we were going to try and get the card, and then we were going to go into classic bodybuilding in pro.
Yeah.
It's just not achievable because I can't. Now that I've made it there, I'm like, do you know what? Even though I've now got to move up and think about standing next to people like James Hollinshead and Andrew Jacked, and obviously there's that whole, but what if fuck that. I'm not letting it be defeat. I'm not letting it defeat me. Fuck the heart issue. It's a load of bollocks. Like, it's the mind over matter. If I want to grow and I want to take my time doing it and actually commit 12 to 18 months, living, breathing every single day, making sure I'm doing like a bodybuilder, why couldn't I make that progress that I need to make? Because I've somehow managed to make progress, like I said, over the last 10 years, specifically the last 3 years, by being, I would say, 40%. Like before like January, when I found out about that heart thing, prep always 100%. Let's be honest, my off seasons, mate, Cheney, you and because you've been with me like for the last 3 years, one of the best mates. Like, I've been shit every off season. Like, I starts well, but I eat boys. I eat. Everyone says that everybody else says they can eat, don't they? I do have an eating problem. Like, I do have a never ending pit. So like, I just get fat and I put a bit of muscle on, and then I diet again. And I don't know if you noticed, like, you definitely wouldn't notice my love handles, even at peak stage condition this time, they're still a little bit there above the fucking glute, and that's just from being a fat fucker. That skin,
I think when we used to compete back in like 2013, 2014 as well, it was normal, bro. Like, we'd go to a show, we'd go, and then we'd all go and fucking eat the biggest burgers for on end, and and then like when you get into that routine of doing it, and like someone like yourself who does like their food, like, it becomes more of a normality consistently. Like, do you mean? Because I remember I put loads of weight on after my first few shows, but there was never like a diet out of the show, doing this, doing that, But now, as coaching has progressed, the bodybuilding has progressed, everyone wants to do everything right. Everyone's acting as amateurs. Like, you got a lot of the top amateurs all like acting like pros, trying to get to them, and the standards getting huge, isn't it? But yeah, like from when we first started, mate, it was like, yeah, mate, it was madness, wasn't it? Like just everyone just you'd see each other like 3 weeks later, they both be like 15 kilos up, like face like it's crazy.
Mate,
But
I'm convinced though that is a lot of the reason why mine and so many other bodybuilders' hearts are fucked. Not from the drugs, from the fucking weight put on after a show. Because it's crazy amount of water retention as well, you know?
Bad, I remember my socks and my hands, you know, and it was just like my mother used to say to me, "Oh my God, this is not healthy. Like, look at your hands. You just squeeze them, and they'd be like just puffy." Do you know what I mean? And she'd be saying, because obviously she knew I was using certain compounds, and she'd be wanting like your heart, like, do you know what I mean? It's the first thing she'd say, "My mind, do you know what I mean?" And yeah, so it's got to have an impact over time, especially if you're doing it a lot for prolonged, because that water just doesn't shift either. It takes ages, like when you was in that like 2 or 3 weeks post show, it's like the water just like it just stays like it's mad.
Yeah, and you think of the blood pressure like that, because I don't know about you boys, but like for like until now, which I'm very on it with, and like whatever the reading says it is. But does anyone ever do that thing where it's like, oh, it's a bad reading? It must be a fucked up one. That one won't count today.
Just take it away.
I must be a bit stressed. That's why that reading's up. Do you know what I mean? Like I never used to really like do it. I used to purposely wear it loose because I didn't want to see it. And when I went and had my blood pressure done, bear in mind I felt completely normal at the GP surgery. Like, oh, hold on a minute, can we redo that? I'm like, all right. And I was getting constants in the 160s, 170s. So when I could have been running that high blood pressure for fucking 2-3 years straight, like without knowing. I never would have known. It's only now that my blood pressure's in good range that I can actually tell. Fuck, actually, yeah, I had some real symptoms of like some pretty bad hypertension going on. Do you know what I mean? And mine was 100% related to body weight, because I think I'm 100 kilo now. That's my max weight that I want to sit at. And I'm short, so 5'9". That's still quite a bit. I'd like to say my best feeling is like say 95, 96. But then when I obviously ended up getting to my peak for stage this year, I was above that weight. So there's got to be like a happy middle ground. But anywhere above 100 to 110, that's when I know shit, things are fucked up. And like things are going to start getting bad if I'm not continuous to do my cardio, continuing with a good solid sleep pattern, making sure I'm regularly taking my blood pressure medicine and stuff. And then north of that, when I was getting up to the 120s, 125, that was dangerous for me. Like my body can't handle that. Like you,
what's that?
You're close. You're pushing like up to that sort of range, aren't you? 120s,
right now I come back down because I came back down to go to Spain last week. I got to like just under 250. I go like 2 pounds, like so 250. I was 248. I got down to like 226 coming back from Spain, and then I'm 232 now. So
how did you feel at the 250?
This year I was all right. This year I was all right. Last year I got to 238 just before I got ill. I felt horrendous. But then this year I flew past 238. I got to 248, felt fine. And I only pulled it back just because I didn't want to be a fucking beach whale on the in Spain. Like, but I don't know where I'm going to end up, bro, because my body's just I'm literally putting a pound to pound and a half a day at the minute, and I'm not fucking around like so.
No, you could. That's lovely. Put that way on.
It'll slow down, obviously, but I've only just introduced food back in from Monday.
With like this push up for me as well, I'm just going to take it like this will 100% be the like leanest push up I've done, and probably the slowest and most controlled. And I watched a really good video breaking down like insulin resistance in bodybuilding with Marcus Mattel, and the fucking awesome. Like, you should all watch it. Like, basically just saying, as soon as you are getting sloppy in your off season, you've lost control of your insulin sensitivity. You're getting resistant, and you're on your way up to like pre-diabetes, basically. And no bodybuilder should be getting fat. They should all then diet down and come back up again. Because I put it on my story today, but I'm wearing a continuous glucose monitor now, so I can track exactly what's going on. Because I pulled my bloods. Well, I pulled 2 sets recently. I pulled my bloods and I did a fasted insulin test. My HbA1c was 39. So about 90-day period, it was telling me that I was like getting towards pre-diabetic, and I'm dieted down. I'm lean now, so I'm thinking I've seen it creeping up, like working with Cal doing his off seasons. I've just done like an 8-month push, and I'm thinking I want to see it come down. And it's gone up, and I'm thinking, holy shit. Like, I need to check this out. And I think like this is another good reason why you check your stuff out of the blood work. And I did the same thing. So I'd actually had a consult with Dr. Dean on it last week, but I always thought in my head, this is definitely from doing the longest push-up I've ever done. I had support in there as well. As soon as I started dieting, I took that out. And I was thinking it must just be my blood glucose must have, for a time until my like pancreas could deal with everything, which is probably really high. Because I got lean and I was having hypos at the end of it. So I'm like, right, I must be sensitive. So this doesn't make sense. So I'm wearing this now and it's showing me I'm actually about, at the minute, the average so far, about 30 𝘗𝘂𝘮𝑐. But obviously that's taking that average off my blood glucose at the minute. But this average is off a 90-day window of the life cycle of the red blood cell. So I was like, I need to do some more digging on this. So that's why I'm wearing this now. But I think as well, it just highlights like watching that video, like speaking with Cal at the minute as well, like having a really slow push up for me will probably mean it'll be my most productive off season I've ever done. If I can stay sensitive, I don't have to have things in like for the Atlantis and stuff at the minute. I think the leaner I stay for me, I feel better anyway. Well, as soon as I start to get like the 120s, 125, I don't feel too good. It's like, do you know what I mean? So I think it'll just be really interesting to try it. But usually come out back of a show and we all know the food focus is crazy. Like you have to get up there quick. This time, because I just dieted down, got like nice and lean, I don't have any of that, so I can just take real slow. I'm on like 3,600 training day at the minute, and like I don't know what my rest day is. I can't remember. But it's like I'm moving slowly, but I feel fucking good because in the gym performance is up as well. I'm not like super hungry. I kind of control that anyway. I'm a bit of a fucking robot to be honest. But it's just for me, I think it'll be better. But it'd be interesting to have this data now and then see if I do make more progress with like a more consistent, steady push. Do you know what I mean?
And with like what you're saying about your off season, like you want to stay super tight on this push up, mate. From obviously being quite close with you the last 2 or 3 years and seeing you doing the push ups, even when I've seen you at like peak before you start dieting down, you've never like been out of shape though. Do you know what I mean? Because I'm obviously taking the pictures of you.
I know what you mean. Yeah. Obviously we all think fucking. I'm the worst for it, man. Like
I know that's what I'm saying.
Obviously, I don't want to post photos. I'm like, fuck, I'm not posting that now.
Yeah.
And then when you look back, it's like, okay, it wasn't too bad, but I just want to see this time if I can move really slow to like 115, 116. How's that gonna transcend into the muscle added? Do you know what I mean? So it'll be interesting for me to do it and just I like being like locked in and lean. I know like there's some people like don't mind putting body weight on as quick. Me, it's like I don't feel too good doing that.
Yeah.
Just be interesting to see.
Me and Cheney had this conversation the other day in the gym, like about like an off season, and from speaking to like some of the guys that I film and that, they all seem to have the same opinion that yeah, obviously you've got to stay tight, but I think in terms of putting that decent tissue on, everyone needs that kind of like one off season where they get
a little bit
too far.
A little bit chipped up.
I know like Dan McNabb fucking did it. I remember being with him and obviously he felt horrendous and he sat there for a little while as well. But then when he came back down, the improvements that he'd made was crazy. But obviously again, it's like health, is it worth?
I totally get that point. But for me, I think seeing that 𝘗𝘂𝘮𝘮 at 39, bear in mind, when my set of blood starting working with Cal was 32.
Yeah.
32 to 39.
Yeah, for numbers are saying it.
Fuck, am I developing type 2 diabetes or going to be like having diabetes soon? Which I'm like, holy fuck, like I need to look into this. And I think again, like that's why the blood work is so fucking valuable. And anyone that doesn't do it needs to get on their fucking shit and be doing it like 3 to 4 times a year, like without question.
Definitely.
I think you would have stayed a lot leaner as well if everyone was in range for that period of time, man. Because your food wasn't that high, was it? You know, when you was pushing, you know. So I think I should really tracking everything now and pushing up. You by keeping that blood glucose where you want it all the way through, mate, you're gonna have such a better responsive off season and grow more from that alone, right?
I think so because obviously, and it goes back to everyone saying, "Fucking hell!" I mean, Rich used to always say to me, "Bro, you don't eat enough. You don't eat enough. You're 6'6". You should be eating more." I'm like, "Bro, like I can't eat more because I just get fat." And obviously, there is like a bit of potentially maybe like a bit of it. Not as sensitive as I get up. Obviously, through a prep, you're super sensitive, but maybe I lose that very, very fast. And I need to make sure that I think keep as sensitive as possible. Some guys can eat fucking ridiculous amounts of food. Like, you know, some guys.
It's a genetic thing again, isn't it?
100%, bro. 100%.
You know, we talk about genetics when we're coming down to like this guy down in the corner with a fucking mad structure that just won his pro card. That's obviously genetics. But then again, it's like it plays a part with the sensitivity of the food, the sensitivity to the drugs. Again, those are all like genetic components, isn't it?
100%. And it's just like, one individual can eat oats and tolerate that. Another individual can't, everyone is different. And I think having this on, I'm already going to make changes to my diet because I always save big carb meal for bed. So I like to sleep on a carb meal, but the clearance, watching that last night, the clearance on it was so good through the day. It's going to be better for you to have that as another meal pre-training when it's going to be cleared out before you go to bed, and then keep it in a lower blood glucose overnight. Stuff like that. Like I wouldn't have known that if I hadn't got this monitor. I was on an hour about it. I was like, am I overthinking this? Is this over-analysis? Because I was checking my blood glucose, everything seemed fine. And I was like, oh, fuck it, maybe I should just forget about it. But I thought, nah, do you know what? I was chatting to Ali down Pacific. He's used one of these before. I was like, I'll get it and I'll have a look. What's the worst that's going to happen? Like,
yeah.
And so far, I think it's interesting. Like,
it seems like you're
10 days around. I'm really sad.
Miles to make sure that you get everything 100%, which is what was I think required to know that you're leaving everything in there to maximize your goals, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like some people don't even fucking bother getting blood work at all.
And I've seen people get blood work, and there's something that's wrong, and they go, "Oh fuck it, it doesn't matter. I feel good. I'll just crack on."
Yeah.
Like Joe's obviously walking around feeling absolutely fine. It wasn't until obviously you had it was like cramps a little bit, Joe, wasn't it? It was having like some sort of like fucking
well,
when we filmed A Planet, remember you were on about the cramps?
Yeah, boys, the cramps were a red herring warning, right? That is linked. It's nothing to do with it because they came back as soon as. Remember, I said it earlier that when I started with me, we put that small amount in before I got my bloods redone, and I started getting those cramps about 3 days after the first jab. So I was like, fucking hell. So I'm glad I'm going to get my bloods and eco done now because it's going to confirm that these cramps are like linked to this heart thing. But as soon as I saw, it was after the eco, as soon as I saw that the eco was pretty much bang on, stopped having the cramps, boys. Nothing changed.
It's on your head. Like,
yeah. But it was telling me to go and get the bloods. And I got banged up in Mexico, yeah? That was in Christmas time. That was just before Christmas. Before that, when that happened, like I was really anxious, like, and that was before I knew about the heart, but I was on a cycle. And that was I kept thinking in my head because do you remember like this whole thing that we're talking about? It's happened last year as well, but I just never got the eco done. I just came off gear for 18 weeks completely, cold turkey a lot because I
spoke to you in Naba. That was it? Was that when I spoke to you in
Naba?
That
was exactly a year before. So I spent the whole of 2022, no 2020, 2022, no 2023. Sorry, I spent that whole year all the way up till October off gear. Then I went back on, started having these cramps, and then stayed on till January, got tested, and then that was when I found out about the heart. So found out exactly what was wrong. So those cramping things have been going on for like ages, but it's an anxiety trigger for me because as soon as I fucking found out that everything was sound, like 8 weeks ago it was now, literally it stopped dead. And I started having low sodium salt in as well as having calcic salt. Darren just like changed my manipulation of the electrolytes. Just by seeing how fast I'm talking, boys, and can you imagine the equivalent amount of sweat that's coming out of me right now from doing this? This is just me every day. So maybe I do just perspirate more than the next guy, and I require a little bit more sodium balance. And yeah, when a red herring warning is a crazy thing, boys, because it's like your body knows something's going on, doesn't it? I didn't know there was fucking wrong with my heart. I felt fine. But that was happening, and that initially made me think, let me go get bloods done. And although it's completely unlinked, fucking found out what was wrong, didn't I? So helpful in the end.
Yeah. Have you got go on, Rich?
Go on, but I was just saying it's just your body always gives you little triggers and warnings of like something,
Cheney, what when you have your thing, do you have any like apart from obviously your kidneys hurting and that, did you have any other kind of things showing up which told you your shit was about to kick off?
No, not really, mate. To be honest, it just gets like fatigue kicks in really a lot. Like, and obviously, I'm somebody who can or will work myself to the fucking bone. Like, so I obviously steps will be stupidly high. I can do cardio in stupidly high and still train hard. And the majority of the time, I recover really quickly. I've always noticed even when I was a runner years ago doing marathons, like, I would always recover really fast. So whenever the SLE actually flares up, I'm just fucked. I'm just literally just like on the set, just knackered, and I'm like, there's almost just no going in. Like, I love training. Like, everyone who's training me knows how much I love training, or being in the gym, and it just like it almost like a mental trigger just goes off, and it's like I just can't be asked to go. Like, I'll still
Switching
go,
off, yeah.
yeah, I'll still go, but it's just like almost something like this feeling in my body's just like, just can't be asked to go.
Like
Like,
that back end of prep, having to fucking drag yourself to the gym just to get those last sessions done.
yeah, no, those ones where you're like, you come home or from the gym, you're sat in your car, and you literally just sit in your car, and you realize you've been sat there for about an hour without actually getting out and going in your house. Like,
Mm.
you got your food and stuff just sat in the seat, like, but you just can't be bothered. Like, but yeah, it's the fatigue element that starts off with, and then that's the trigger then. So obviously the fatigue attacks the CNS because the immune system can't actually cope with the fatigue. It starts attacking my CNS then. So, and that's when
Mm.
things flare up. So it can be something. It doesn't. It's not always like your kidneys. It can be something totally
Yeah.
different.
I spoke to, I don't know if you watched it yet, the Carlos Thomas podcast.
I watched this. I seen it come up this morning. Yeah, so
Yeah. Spoke to him last night because he's got ulcer colitis, which is an autoimmune disease as well. And he's had to pull out of 2 preps, I think, because of it kicking off.
That's the one where you get ulcers all over your tongue and stuff.
Starts in his pancreas and all that, I think, and all in his colon and stuff.
Is it?
Yeah, but
I've had a client who just got diagnosed with an autoimmune now, and he was just like getting attacks. He had ulcers all over his tongue, couldn't swallow, and he never knew what it was. He was going to the hospital, and they weren't telling him, and then he was getting run down again. They've just, I think it's the same as that.
ulcer colitis, yeah.
So, yeah.
Carlos, I spoke to him because when we spoke about your thing, Shane, I was like, maybe it's better of being within range of touching distance, of being relatively lean, and then getting into prep, doing like 8-10 weeks and getting out, and making it quite a quick in and out jobby. I spoke to him about it, and he's the opposite way around. He takes like a longer time.
Yeah, I think maybe that's the best way to go about it now. And it's all trial and error in there. Like, you have to
Yeah,
try it first to think what's best. But like, obviously, me being low body fat, my body's not healthy. Like, so I need the high amount of micros in there. I need the right nutrients going in to make sure that my body feels healthy. Like I said to you this morning, like, my body's the last like 2 weeks, I've never felt so good. Like, especially like being in the gym, like strength's
yeah.
just flying through the roof. Obviously, nothing's in at the moment, just TRT. So, um, I've never felt this good, and it's just purely from food. Like, my food is just doing the job.
As it
Uh,
should.
yeah, exactly. The other thing that flares up as well, sorry, is my lymph nodes, which is obviously sort of related to, like you said, then, and obviously like the ulcers on the tongue and stuff. Like, they're a form of lymph node as well. Like, so, obviously going towards mine's always underneath my armpit. So when it first flared up, I have like it was like an ingrown hair underneath my armpit years ago. So there's like a bit of a hole there. And it started swelling, and I was like, oh, it's just that in the
Mm.
growing hair again.
Mm.
So I went to the doctors about it, and when I went to the doctors the first time, he was like whispered and was like, I don't know, like speaking to himself, like in his head, and he goes lymphoma, and I'm like, oh, please don't, no,
Fuck
no.
no.
Like, but yeah, that's something, and obviously you've got lymph nodes then all over your body. Like when I was in prep, obviously earlier in the year, me and Joey noticed, like, and I said this in the last podcast. He said it's lucky enough that me and Joey are so close and such good friends because he knows how adherent I am. So obviously at the time then, like the lymph nodes in my sides just went swelled right up, Joe, didn't they? And it looked as if I'd like had a 10
Oh,
calorie cheat meal or something like.
do you remember you came up to see me? Like,
Yeah,
and we had a session. Like, boys, like, don't get me wrong, you've got to be like, with certain clients and all, you can't just always be like, obviously not with you, but like, there's certain clients you have to be like, you have to paint a certain face and you have to treat them differently, right? Well, I can't do that in life. Like, I can't lie on my face, can I, Jane? And like, I was like, he come up to see me, and I bearing in mind before this, even when we were in the gym, Jay, when you were doing the recording that day,
Mm.
I was a couple of weeks before. Even then, he looked a miles better,
Yeah.
right? This particular day, he come in. I trained with him, saw him under the lights. I was like, oh yeah, no, he's looking all right. By the time we had done like another set, moved to another part of the gym, it literally looked like somebody had fucking opened him up and put a hose in him and just gone, psh. Like, and I was like, I don't know what the fuck to do here. Like, honest, I was like, but I'm like trying to tell him that it's going to be all right. I think I gave you like a shit ton of food that day, and you went home and you did look a lot better the next morning. But then the following day, it happened again, didn't it?
Yeah,
So you knew something was wrong. But I was like, I know he's not cheating on his diet because I just knew he wasn't. You know, you just know, like,
yeah,
and I'd watched because that you started pretty lean that prep, and I was watching it going, and it was weird. It was happening every time around the same point. The year before, we just like managed you to the stage.
Yeah, it's because the best look was the early one, was it? The PCA show.
Yeah, and as soon as the press, I always thought, is it an anxiety thing? Because it was like you didn't mean to do a show, you did it, you looked the best, and then it kind of got worse, but we were holding on to it. But this year, when that happened, that was scary because I was like, I've never seen that happen to anyone before. Like people say I'm holding water and all, fucking bollocks. Like that was a different level of like, how can somebody? Because boys, you have to remember as well, you're matching it to body weight. Like you're tracking body weight to visuals. Yeah, that body weight was lower than the body weight than when you like actually look at those 6 weeks out shots where you're in fucking twisting Arnold's and all.
Yeah,
and like you're the leanest you've ever been. But somehow now you're lighter, but you're actually like looking like you put on 2 stone away, not even normal.
Yeah.
Like, fuck, it was horrible at the time, but
it was good that training session because like it was the session that actually showed it, didn't it? Like the session, like you said, the start session, I think we done like chest press and stuff at the start, a couple of flies, and like I could see we was in the light, you can see all the detail coming through, like obviously the shoulders, whatever, and I was like, all right, I feel good now. And then, like you said, then it was almost like the fatigue element of the loop bus just kicked in, like only on like a third exercise, and then like you said, it just filled with water, but it was good, like. Mentally, it was good for me because then obviously you still think to yourself, I think he thinks I'm lying, like I think he, or wherever, like you start thinking, does he actually believe me or not?
I was racking my head because like, not only did I care, because I very do much care for like client results and progress. Like we all when you've like competed and all, you kind of know the buzz. I love the buzz. Like I love the feeling of having a client compete on stage. Like it just is much more appealing than a lifestyle client. Let's be honest. But like with you, I become personally best friends with you as well.
Yeah.
So there was even more pressure because I was like, I want this guy to fucking be happy with how he looks. And like, fuck me, it's just like so close, yet so fucking far in the end. Like, so annoying.
Yeah.
But like, I think you're gonna crack it over time. You're still relatively new to body. Like, to me, you're still relatively new to bodybuilding, in the sense of like, it does take, which I've discovered, like fucking 10 years to find out what actually works for your body, like, or find the right like sort of, I don't know, like time scale to diet for, and even just for it to tick. You've done, like you said, that marathon stuff and all, right? That's a completely different type of stimulus, like, and yeah, I'm pretty sure the next time you go for it, you'll be fine.
It'd be more of a mental confidence thing as well. Like, obviously, the more you're going to do it, that can play a huge part to the look. I know if I've got shit going on with work and my head's falling off, traveling here and there and everywhere, I can wake up the next day looking like a bag of dicks. But then 2 days later, back on home soil or whatever, and then you can just switch it on. So I think it's just the mindset will be a key factor, I think, going forward as well.
Yeah, like it's definitely something as well as affected me. Like I know I don't want to mention, obviously you boys know, especially Joey and Jay, what I'm probably going towards here, but like there's a certain element that was bringing up obviously massive stress at times, and every time it done it, my physique would like go to pot, like it would go to a fucking bag of dicks, like it would. So like there's removing those elements away from it as well, and then obviously like you said, like if I spend a long time now, I think personally, like 2025, like I said, pushing up, making sure that I can actually get to a place where I can get food nice and high as well, but good food going in nice and high. And then obviously when we think about it in 2026, then it's coming down nice and slowly and being able to actually prep on a lot higher calories, like with obviously a lot more tissue as well. So
Yeah.
it's a lot easier. Like
a big pail of like Andy said, get a good bit of weight on you, like, and also do like fucking I don't know if you've seen the podcast last night. It was live, the 𝘴𝘰𝘰𝘪𝑯𝑐 one, where Ben was saying about how him and Hunter are doing their bloods like every 2 weeks. So he's like changing everything, particularly to how his blood work's looking. Like, you might just need to go down that route. And the more of it for anything, for peace of mind. Like, you know, if you're doing your blood work and it's like, oh shit, that's gonna blow, because your issue shows up on your blood work, doesn't it?
yeah.
Yes, but it's only present there when it's present, isn't it?
Yeah.
So you see, if that, obviously it costing a lot of money, but I'm sure
it's only in like the white and the red.
More data than this. You can crack and pull and do whatever you need to be doing, like every 2 weeks, like to move, like, you know, in the right direction. Like,
we need to get like a fucking sponsor for one of these blood clinics, I think.
Yeah, I was just say that.
Joey, you should be like the flagship athlete now for one of these blood clinics, bro.
Well, Atlas, NPC 10 if you want to get your blood done with Atlas, but
I need more than 10% off 2 weeks.
That's Mia's work. Like, I'm just a tag on to Mia. Let's be honest. Like, she takes all the the products for all the codes. It's just lucky to be like with her. But yeah, if honestly, like, blood work, as we all know, is fucking so vital. But someone like you, Janie, like, that's going to be the difference. It can quite literally be the difference between you achieving what you want to achieve with your physique, because I know your thing is like me. You were like the stage boys. And Janie's exactly like this. He loves to compete on stage. Like, yeah, you love the gym, but I know that, like, which a lot of people don't particularly like the stage part. It's just part of it. You fucking love the thought of going on and posing in your little trunks.
Yeah.
And that's what I fucking love. Like,
bro, anyone that takes their trunks, like you boys, fucking love it. Mine come out once every fucking year if they're lucky.
Once a fucking day, mate.
I would choose the part of being on stage to the well, I said this before and I kind of regretted it in recent times, but to actually training. And that's like what, but like, that's what me and Mia just love competing and performing. Like, I like to perform, because when I was younger, it was a way of me being everything but Joey Farrell. I used to do like performing arts in school. I've actually got an A level in drama, believe it or not. Before I got sent to Nick and couldn't go to drama school, that was what my goal was, to be an actor. But I wanted to be everything that I wasn't, which was that acting gave me that chance. So can you understand that when you see me doing a bodybuilding show and I sort of look almost like, one thing I will give myself credit for, I do stand out, yeah? Whether it's because I got the biggest amount of muscle or not, I stand out on stage. It's not particularly because I posed it well, because I posed shit this year, but it's because I have that inner feeling of performance. It's like, I get to go on there and be, this is the Joe Farrell I choose to be, right? Not the Joey Farrell that's like, has got this little nervous ADHD thing, can't shut his mouth, can say the wrong thing sometimes, is a little bit socially awkward, it doesn't have much confidence at all in a social setting. But on stage, you come into my show.
Yeah.
This is my town, like, and it's so weird, because I'm like, I disconnect from the moment I'm off the side. As soon as I step on the stage, it's like go time. And it's just, and I love that feeling. And then that's why I get so emotional as well. And that's why I get so fucking buzzing. Cause I'm like, it's like superpowers, boys. It's like I always say it, and it's my own personal thing. And whether people believe it or not, but it's like it's where my dad comes to me. It's almost like when I was a kid and I used to play rugby, and I was a very high level rugby player, like sub 10, 11, 12 years old when my dad was around. But I was playing years above my age. And he'd be on the sideline, and I just felt like I would be scoring all the tries, and he was just be on the side and didn't have to say too much. But he wasn't the coach of the team, but everyone like looked up to him as the coach because his son was the best, and it was like that, yeah.
Yeah.
And as soon as he passed away, and when it came to sport, I was an outcast. I felt I didn't have that same, like,
they're more behind you, just like
just like
giving you that energy, you know. You feel like because you lost him, you lost yourself on that pitch, confidence and what your ability was. Yeah,
I turned into a fat little kid then because I wasn't fat at that point. But boys, I was a good rugby player. I was a sprinter. And then that went away until I found bodybuilding. And then all of a sudden, bodybuilding, I was my own cheerleader, but I could, if I wanted to pretend my dad's voice is in my ear, telling me to keep going or well done on stage, son, I could. If I wanted to look into the crowd and see him there in his orange big raincoat, like I did it on rugby pitch, I fucking found it for the first time. I used to search for that all my late teens, when I was waiting to go to jail and I was petrified, fucking 19 years old, thinking, what have I done? I'm going to jail. I used to pray and think, how could I, like, not just thinking I'm having a conversation with my dad or God or whatever you want to say. And I never really had it. I never really felt it. And I can't, like, I'm not trying to take the conversation on me all over again, but it's so important for me in my head. I find it like, again, it's a miracle. Like, I was in jail, I said, and I was boxing at the time, boys. I'd stopped trying to be bodybuilder. I was boxing. I'd never done a show. I was in the prison gym, and I couldn't even clip the fucking clips off the bars, right?
Yeah.
I've been boxing so long on no calories to make weight to fight that I'd lost all the muscle and strength I'd gained from like 15. And just something about not being able to clip these off and my skinny mate Dan having to do it. I was like, I need to get strong when I come out here. I got released early. I was on tag, so I couldn't really do much else but the gym. And I said, you know what? I'm going to do a bodybuilding show because it was something that we've always loved in the town. One of my other best mates, Neil Hill's nephew, and it was his gym. And I said, within a year, boys, I'm gonna win a bodybuilding show. And that's exactly what I did. But it was such a weird experience because I like, had such a godly sort of feeling the whole way through it, especially when I got to that first show, 2014. Paul Grant Welsh thing against 𝘗𝘳𝘰𝘶𝘥𝘭𝘺, a couple other big boys in that class. And I was on that stage and I went, there it is. Like that feeling I won. I went, there he is. There's my dad. Like that, or that feeling was so fucked up and electric that I was obsessed and fell in love. Oh my God, I've been able to do the acting thing again. Oh my God, I'm performing. Oh my God, nobody in this crowd thinks I'm a fucking criminal dickhead child that's like weird with trauma. Now he's like the king. Do you know what I mean? Like I felt like that feeling. And I did the same thing a year later. And the same thing a year later. Same thing a year later.
Your identity back, like of who you what you was like. I mean, who you could possibly be, definitely. Because you was lost for a long period of time. And then when that all clicked and you was like, yeah, I'm back, like type of thing.
And mate, when I won that card the other day, fucking times it by 1,000,000, boys. Times it by 1,000,000.
Times it by 1,000,000, boys.
That's the myself. Never. I would never. Oh, the feeling is crazy. Like people think, like, like when you want something so badly, and then you almost like think about it too much. You think, oh shit, how am I going to react to this? Like, and you think I might have to pretend I'm going to cry or like put on a cry because I've been putting this up for so long. I was thinking that until I actually stood on the stage, and then it literally just overtook me. I couldn't even.
I know exactly the feeling you're on about, bro.
Yeah.
I had it myself, man.
It's electric, man. And now I'm like, fuck, it's a long time till I'm going to be able to feel that again. But to be fair, I feel it when Mia competes, so I'm very lucky because she's smashing it.
How come you're not at shows for at the minute? That's what I was going to ask. Was there,
Mia?
Yeah, she's in the States right now, right?
Sorry. Yeah, she's in Texas. Sorry, yeah. She's doing Texas on the weekend for the second time in 2 weeks, but it's a different place.
Yeah.
So she was in McCullen, and now she's in Dallas, and then she's doing the London show. But
is that the 3 shows she's doing then? Yeah.
But mate, she's a natural God's gift, blessing. Like in terms of her physique, her body is. It's just the genetic structure of her physique is just wild to me. Like I've never seen that. Like I know that she uses not even a quarter of the amount of assistance, or probably spends less time actually training than any of the other people I know in that, like, who compete in wellness. And when I say time training, because we'll go to the gym, she obviously trains, and when she trains very hard. But Mia will be first thing when she walks into the gym, she's going and practicing her posing, and she'll do her eye walk over and over and over again. Like she's just a special performer, like. And I was so chuffed because when she did that show the other day, first of all, she come out It was decent stand, like really good class. And they're trying to get, you know, like they don't know who she is yet. So you have to earn to be spoke about, don't you?
Yeah.
And by the time they say again,
she was fourth when she in
yeah, but she was placed in fourth before prejudge, and she was like seventh, eighth.
Yeah.
They pulled her into the first call out and compared everyone to her, and then the commentator's like, "Oh, no one's matching that girl for flow." And now she's put that video on. She's had what's her face? Who's the really good posing bikini? Everyone, I can't remember her name now.
UK?
No, American. Who's known for being the best poser? I can't remember her name now.
Well, I don't follow her enough.
In the you know, she had that like court battle with her coach once. Can't remember her name. Anyway, they two of her favorite bikini.
What bikini?
Yeah, bikini. Yeah,
Oh, Laura Lee, is it?
Yeah, Laura Lee.
Sorry, man, I thought you were talking about wellness then. Yeah, Laura Lee and that. What's his name? Oh, fuck, I can't remember his name now.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's like, I've got it. Yeah, Laura Lee and that Alison Testu. They've all like commented on it saying, like, I know it doesn't seem big because she's a pro, but she doesn't. She's like me. It's like it's a bit like imposter syndrome till you do it. But it's gone wild. Like they're all talking about it, and I'm like, yeah, this is just a start.
Yeah.
I have no doubt she'll be, and I'm fully confident, and I'm holding myself back here. Mia's going to be a top 5 Olympian because it's just such a unique class. You have to be. So many people do you see trying to do it, but they're just not a wellness girl. You have to have that.
She's got it, hasn't she? 100%.
Yeah, mate, I'm telling you now. I know I literally love her more than anything I could even explain to anyone. But fuck, I'm like so impressed by her like physique. Like, do you know what I mean? And then yeah, doing Texas this weekend is 30 people in the class. So let's say she gets a top placing again at this one, then that's serious shit then. Because these are tough shows. And that London show was the Battle of the Brits, isn't it?
Who's
Chloe doing that as well?
Yeah, Chloe's doing it, isn't she?
Of Chloe, I think maybe Danny Pitstock. Is she doing it?
I haven't seen she's in prep. I don't think she's in prep. There's
a couple of girls who've got prep wellness cards like in like the early part of last year that like aren't really wellness girls, but like they weren't doing the shows, but I don't think they're actually doing the actual shows. Like,
yeah.
So it's going to be a European crop of people, but it's Tyler Mannion's head judge, boys. And Tyler Mannion likes girls who look wellness. And the Mia was like literally probably the softest in terms of condition in that class the other day, but still managed to get fourth. They're making a point there. By pulling her into that first call out and having her beating the Masters Olympia winner from last year, right? Who won the Masters Wellness.
Yeah.
Girls who won pro shows who were absolutely skinless. Why are they putting her there? Well, it's not just on posing. It's because she's got the shape for it. And if you notice that these pro shows, the top 3 are like a good standard. And then fourth down to like 12th, you could be like, it could be anyone's game. But the person who's finishing fourth is like, oh yeah, well, I must be close to criteria because I finished fourth. No, it was a lottery. The top 3 are a criteria. And it'll go one or two ways. Is that in Europe, they like it tall and developed. But America, they like it to be, well, just look at the Miss Olympia. She's short. She's got small waist, good condition, but it's not, oh my God, alien-like.
Yeah.
Same thing with the runner-up and same thing for third place. And then when you go down the pecking order, well, yeah, you have to just eventually go down to what's the most impressive. But, you know, you win a pro show in Europe. Well, how many of them people are winning those pro shows in Europe are in top 5 at Olympia?
It's the same with any class as well. You've got the men's, the deep guys, you've got the bikini girls. They go to America and it's, you know, it's totally different. And like, it's to Lucy as well. Like, you know, when you go to these pro shows, like she was like 36 in her class and she had 12th. And then another 30, I think she had 10th, I think it was. But like I said to her, like these judges as well, they know all these girls inside out. There was only 4 girls in that 36 who weren't American. So every one of them girls have been judged by these American panel. They know, like, it's not fixed, but these judges know they're top 10 when they come out. They know all the big names. They know that there was 8 people who've been to Olympia when she done it. So they know, you know, who's going to be in that first call out subconsciously. So to be and push into that top 3 or whatever, you've got to stand out by a mile because they all, you know, because when it's 30 odd girls coming on the stage, Do you mean? And they are close to each other in regards to condition because they're all bringing it because they're pros. You know, doing it for, and a lot of them been pros for 5 to 10 years. Do you mean? They're not just fresh pros. They're pros that's been consistently winning pro shows year after year after year, given their pro card by the same judges on the same panel, speak to them every week or every couple of weeks after a show. So, you know, they're all very well known. So to come from somewhere where, you know, you're not really known at all, you don't really speak to the judges, you don't know, and then stand out and get placed in like a top, you know, 3, top 6 or whatever in a big class, you know, it speaks volumes really, doesn't it? Because the class criteria, you know, for especially for bikini and like men's physique and then like, well, you know, they are close. Like, I mean, the competitors are closer than an amateur show where, you know, you got you know, a couple of good people, but you know, like these pros are all coming in like pretty much on really, and you know.
You know, yeah, like you said, then the difference between the amateur and the pro. In pro bodybuilding and men's physique, in amateur bodybuilding, classic physique and men's physique, you could probably say, you know, there's so many good amateurs right now are already pros, but they've just, that's how high the standard is at the amateur show. In wellness, in amateur, I'm just going to say it fucking straight.
Yeah.
It's dog shit. Like the standard's awful. Like you turn up at these shows and they're not wellness. So they have to give the card to someone who isn't a wellness girl, but that doesn't, they don't then compete in the pro show, do they? So that now you're now
wellness girl turning up out of shape with a lot of low body size, which is muscle.
Yeah.
Thinking in wellness, you know, which is the truth of it, really, you know.
Mate,
so they've got another like 15, 16 pounds to come off to really, you know, see anything, you know, realistically. But because they hold it fat and they're low and it holds quite well, they think they're wellness, you know.
I filmed the Callum show on the weekend. Like you boys down the bottom were there. The wellness category, there was girls in the wellness category that didn't even belong in bikini. I didn't know how they were up on there.
I seen one, and well, I seen one. I thought, God, she would be all right in bikini. She would, like, I mean, but like, no way.
Maybe, yeah, but like, I was like, when I went backstage to obviously getting all the shots, I was like, this girl's too early. Bikinis in a couple of hours. Couldn't believe it. But no disrespect, obviously. But it was like, yeah, you're right though, Joe. You're right, 100%, mate.
You know, it's just, it's like, come on.
And Carl's show was a big show as well. It's not a Mickey Mouse show, is it?
Yeah, huge.
It's one of the biggest pro qualifiers. So you would expect to see, you know, not a regional, sorry, but one of the biggest regionals. So you would expect to see a higher standard athlete there as well, all across the board.
Don't get me wrong. The classes, like, they were really good fucking competitors, but then there was a sprinkle of that kind of thing, and it just didn't make sense. Well, it was probably the tick in the box kind of show, where they're just doing it to obviously go on for, you know, further down the line or whatever.
Do you know what I think it is, though? It just goes to show how rare it is to actually be a wellness competitor or have a wellness physique. Yeah. Especially UK based. Like Mia's obviously Nigerian, right? So a lot of you probably don't know that, but she's like quarter Nigerian, right? That's where her heritage comes from. So a lot of people think she's like a bit Brazilian because everyone associates like wellness to Cuban Brazilian. That's where it originates. That lower body type that is kind of like you can't help. And girls were trying to do bikini, but had a wellness like genetics. And even though we all think, fucking hell, that's banging, right? Like in a bikini show, it would be a bit like too much or like big wide hips. So they've got that criteria. Like Mia's obviously, she's Nigerian, but she has that genetic strength. Mia was a sprinter when she was younger. So it's not like she's tried to be wellness. Mia did bikini and got laughed out the building, even though she hadn't trained legs. She was prepped by 𝘗𝘁𝘁𝘗𝘁. She'd never done a show. She looked amazing. She went there with loads of confidence. We've done all the first timers, all the junior classes, 2 bro show now. This is after lockdown. Didn't get the call out in any of the classes, cried on stage. When she got off stage, at the time, RIP, Paul Crook went back to her and said, look, you need to turn up tomorrow, your wellness. Like, she came the next day then, like, after sorting out her tears, and won the overall. Nearly turned pro at the following British finals 3 weeks later, never done a show before. But she didn't choose it. That's what she's meant to do. And she's going to be a thumping good one. But the amount of people who are like going, oh yeah, I'm going to build into wellness. Like, you can't fucking build into wellness. Like, it doesn't work.
It's crazy to jump from bikini to wellness. Like, people don't understand the amount and the levels. Like, I mean, it's massive. When, you know, especially when you're comparing top people, you know, it is crazy.
It's the same as bodybuilding to classic, though. You know, you either built for it or you fucking ain't. I'm not going to be able to do classic because of my fucking waist. Cheney, yeah, he could do classic because he's got a small waist. Same as wellness, you know. If you got a fucking, like you said, Joe, if you got those wide hips and that, you ain't going to be in bikini, or you're not going to do well in bikini anyway.
Yeah, or you see the trend trying to come down from figure or something. It's like Mia's being told right now. Mia doesn't train up a body, but Mia's being told right now, your delt's too big, delt's too big. It's been her feedback the whole time. It makes it, to me, it makes her physique look amazing because the tiny waist. But it's true, the upper body needs to be unsymmetrical to the lower body. It's the only bodybuilding class out of all the classes that you actually need to show a massive amount of insymmetricality, whatever
a lower jaw.
I don't know if that's a word, but yeah.
I'll create that one. I'll stamp that one. But yeah, and she's being told her shoulder's too big, and mate, she hasn't trained up her body since like September 2022. Yeah,
Chloe was the same, man. When I was filming her content, every time I'd film her, it'd be legs or glutes and hams, legs, glutes and hams. I was like, when was the last time you trained upper? She was like, about 3 months ago, and even longer probably.
Everyone's started doing that now. Everyone's now doing lower, just lower. But all the wellness girls were doing fucking biceps and triceps a few months back, boys. Like, I don't know when the memo got found out that you're not meant to have big arms and shoulders, but now people have stopped doing it. But it's took that long for the criteria to be understood. Because people turn a blind eye to the Olympia because it's almost like then I'm not at that level, so I don't have to think about it. So they've given you the criteria by putting Francielli, the Miss Olympia, now 2-3 years in a row, and whoever finishes runner-up, right, being a small petite girl. But then people would much rather, go like base what they're like, what they should be like off the average girl who's kind of wins an average-ish pro show or wins an amateur show because they're the best of the current standard there on the day. Because it's
no true wellness girls there. That's why.
Yeah.
Like, because there's no one that really fits the criteria, so they got to give it to someone.
Yeah. But then wouldn't you rather set yourself out? It's like, I get it, because it's like, mate, I'm never going to be able to go realistically right now. It's stupid for me to go, yeah, I'm going to be like Derek Lunsford. I need to be like Derek Lunsford. No. All right, I'm going to like try and aim to get myself like this. Well, this is a real thing. I want to be like a Nathanette player, because to me, that's more realistic. So I understand that. But then when it's like a case of like, oh no, sort of making out that this is the way to do it, like not based off your current, what you actually want as your goal, but this is what wellness is, and this is what you should be going like. Say, no, let's be real here. What real wellness is that, and I think we can all agree that you have to genetically be gifted to be a top. You get to be at the top of that class. And I might be speaking a bit too soon because we don't know how well Mia's going to go, but I see her being in that elite group of, yeah, you've got the natural shape for it. It's just down to how hard you work now, whether you're going to make it to the top or not.
Well, when was your first show? 2022, you said?
Yeah, well, the first ever show was in 2021, wasn't it? She done.
Yeah, so like, for her to be where she is now, it's moved quick, like, especially
she's won like 6 overalls.
Yeah.
Fucking, she's won like multiple pro qualifiers. Like, it's crazy actually how well she's done. But again, it's in a class where fucking nobody else is in the criteria. So she wins shows.
Third now, fourth now as well. So it goes to show that she is. Yeah.
That just shows, like, when you hear people saying, "Oh, do you think I've got the genetics for bodybuilding?" The people that have got the genetics for bodybuilding ain't asking that question, because they are people like Mia that have done that did their first show 3 years ago and is already placing top 4 in a pro show.
Yeah, literally. I love her, boys. And I know I'm proud, like, and I'm talking her up like because of how like she looked, but truthfully, like, it couldn't happen to a nicer person. Like, nobody deserves more. She's such a nice soul. She looks like she's up her own ass, bitch. That's what I thought of her when I met her. I thought, I ain't gonna speak to that girl because she thinks she's gonna be like, all that. That's honestly what I thought. We have this conversation all the time. I
think they think that about anyone who it does well, and anyone who you think, oh my God, they look good, or because they're quite quiet, usually into themselves, not really, but realistically they're quite shy and they don't want to speak out to people. But like when you hold someone like at a high, you kind of think that sometimes that's what they'll be like, because you think they're better, really. So, and it relates back to like, you think they're gonna think they're better, not give you that type of thing.
Joe, have you seen her since you won the card yet? No.
Nah, She flew out the day I flew back.
That's going to be an emotional one.
Well, boys, it's like, yeah, because the thing is, it works out like this in a weird way, because I felt bad. I couldn't go to America because I will be able to go to America. I went to jail when I was 19. Like, and it was a fuck all thing, but I
Joey,
just need to.
we need to know what you went to. I've been meaning to ask you since you mentioned jail on this podcast.
Just scrapping this GBH, ABH stuff. When I was like, but I did it when I was 17.
Right.
I did it when I was 17, fighting.
So
I haven't done anything naughty since I was. I'm 30, boys. So like, I'll be able to.
Mexico go on your record at all, Joe.
You are?
In Mexico go on your record at all?
No, because I didn't get arrested or anything. They just stole my money and put me in a cell. You know what it's like. I'm currently trying to get a job working inside a prison, doing something completely unrelated to a prison. So it's something I should be able to get. I'll be going to America, boys. I would compete in the Olympia if I can ever get there myself. Do you know what I mean? But the reason it's so hard is because I would have had to apply for it, pay the money to be refused, and then go through a big process. Now, there was never a plan for me to compete this year. She only competed because I wasn't going to be able to compete. So she was like, well, and she knows I get so much joy watching her. Like, I can live my dreams through her, essentially. That's what we were going to say. But then through me dieting to fix the heart, I accidentally did the universe. And then before I knew it was doing that show, and then Darren said, why don't you do Austria? So I was in Tembe and I was like, fuck, I'll book Austria. And I booked it. And then I realized Mia was flying the day after. So we both kind of had to, like, we live in the same house and we're both prepping and we both tell each other we love each other in the morning. But she does what she's got to do and I could do what I got to do. And I wasn't going to ruin her pro debut. And she had every faith I was going to win the pro card. So we just like support each other. And obviously it was emotional as fuck when I won it and I rang her, but I knew I was never going to America anyway. So for me, it was easy to be selfish and go, right, I'm going to go and get that card or try and get that card. And now it's fucking horrible because, like, obviously I've missed her pro debut, but I've watched it. But I've got the luck that she's going to do this London show, so I'm seeing her on her pro debut season at least.
Yeah, yeah.
And I personally think she probably did better not having me there, boys, because I'm really stressy with time. So I'd be like, come on, man, we got to get to the venue. I'm not even fucking competing. Do you know what I mean? Like in Spain, I was doing that with her when she was competing, like rushing into the venue and all. It's not even me on stage. She likes to be like really laid back, chilled, late for everything, you know, like how women are. So she can do that there and feel comfortable. And to be fair, it was the best she's ever been on stage since I've been with her. So maybe it was good that I wasn't there stressing her out.
Was that a debut?
Pro debut, yeah.
Because I remember I was there, wasn't I? Remember we bumped into her.
So you're on about in Spain?
Spain, yeah. Spain.
Yeah, that was just her trying to get the pro card, wasn't it? But she won that day. But she'd done loads of
shows. I remember her winning. Yeah, I thought that was a pro show. Yeah, okay. So that's when she was qualifying for a pro show. Yeah, for a pro.
Yeah, she got the pro card after that in Denmark.
Ah, okay. Was it the same season though?
Yeah. It was the same season. Two attempts later, she won the British.
Yeah.
She never should have lost, but she won like some other Fed the other day before. I love saying that. I do. I love doing that. And then that was just weird that she didn't win it that day. But then we knew that she was like had to give it one more go. So I was like, because she wasn't meant to do it. Like she wasn't meant to go again.
Yeah.
But then we went to Denmark and she just cleared up there, and it was just amazing. Boys, it felt so good. I didn't think I'd be able to top that feeling, but it did feel better when I won it. Like it did feel better. Like
I'm sure she said the opposite about you than when she won. It felt better when you won it.
But I think the reason it felt better is because I didn't think like anything.
Yeah, because of what you've been through as well, bro. She's watched it, and it's I totally understand that, bro.
Because every time I watch that video of her, I cry because Mia's the only person that I genuinely think like likes me for bit. I know I'm weird as fuck, boys. I know I'm like really like erratic, and I've got this like really difficult personality. Like, I mean very well, honestly. I mean very well, but I'm a bit annoying. Like, but she loves me, and I'm like, how does this amazing girl love me? It's so nice, man. Like,
must be sorry for your job.
She must be though. But like, I'm living in this house now. I've got.
She fucking loves me, boys.
I just don't know why she does, but I'm so grateful. And then like I've got my little dogs, and I got a good friendship group. And I'm having this chat with you boys. Like, it's life's mad, like, but it's so good in so many ways. Like, just, but isn't it amazing, boys? I'm sure you all agree. When you put in a lot, doesn't matter what it is, it's like good things come around you. You know, when you were doing that stuff you said in the gym, Rich, in lockdown, isn't it mad?
Yeah.
It just happens though.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, 100%, bro. But then again, man, it's mad, right? How life tests you. Like life threw a fucking test you, bro. Like a massive test, saying you'd never be able to do this, and you persevered through it and come out, and you come out on top. And that's life in like every aspect. When it tests you, and you keep on fucking going and keep, it's mad how much you can evolve as a person, how much you can change, and through adversity we grow, and just amazing things happen. And it's the same within dieting when we tell our clients. Anything in life is testing you're struggling with, it makes you grow and evolve as a person. And, it just goes to show that as well.
I think like the gym and the diet environment is such a good example, because then you start to remove yourself from a bad environment, and all of a sudden you're, bothering people that are focused and have goals. And then that stems to like through to business, through to other things. And it's just, it's,
it rubs off, doesn't it?
Hard work is always going to be rewarded in some way. I believe that, anyone can.
Yeah, I was having a go on. I was having a conversation with a client earlier, like, and they phoned me and they were a bit upset, had a lot going on, like, and they were on about someone giving them shit and this and that. And I was like, mate, I said, I don't fuck with that anymore. Like, like, and they were saying about like going out and like your friends and stuff like that. And I was just saying, like, right now, my circle, my goals, my drive. And also over a long period of time where I just started dieting, just nutrition and training and gym, like you pick up good habits along the way. And now the progression for me is just like, I have one focus, like one focus is all in one, like, family, business, things. And like nothing will get in my way for that. Like, and nothing really sways me because I've trained myself so much in being like direct and just going for one thing. Like, and I feel like that teaches you like the first stages of that, diet and training. It builds you up, starts your foundations for, to persevere through things and just drive things in and just like push forward towards your goals. Like if you were a bodybuilder, I don't even know where I would be in regards to life, because it's the thing that everything is based around, really, and it's the thing I've learned so much for and taught me so much about life, and business and anything else. Like, I mean, it all comes from like the work I've learned from bodybuilding and like the principles around it.
It all crosses over, doesn't it? It all crosses over.
Yeah,
all of us.
I always put my shit down to training, bodybuilding, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. I had to put the mark on charge. I thought we would have lasted out, but Joey talked for about 45 minutes straight and my battery was on 1%, so I had to put it on charge.
Sorry, boys.
No, it's good. It's good. That's what we want.
Now I got my dog's bark in the background.
Right, man.
Can you hear them?
Yeah, it's fine. It's not the first dogs I've had on the podcast. It's fine.
They don't stop. Like, it's because whenever someone comes to the door, mate, the amount of times I've nearly had fights out there with delivery drivers, leave my gate open. Like, I test them. I'm like, are they getting? I tell them leave it on the doorstep, and then I check if they shut my gate. And like half the time, you can see them like they're pretending to shut. They don't really want to shut it. Like, like leave it a little bit. So the other day, I opened the door. My dog ran out, went right through the gap, and he was like napping at his feet. And these dogs, boys, are like that size, like, and they couldn't bite even if they tried. But he's like, oh, they're biting me, they're biting my feet. And I was like raging because at the same time thinking, fuck, if a car comes around that corner, they're dead, those dogs. Do you know what I mean? Because he goes at the dog attacks the cars on the way. If it's not on the lead and I'm pulling it back, it's like thinks it's gonna like beat this car up as well. And then like, yeah, so I grip
try to bite the tires of a car. Like I've seen it, we used to go on the motorbike, mate, and someone used to like there's dogs and they try and bite the tires of the bike. Like,
It's my fault for not training them properly, but like they're lap dogs. Like they shouldn't even. No, that's wrong. They should be going out for walks, but they don't need to be. But I'm taking them out 4:30 in the morning because I don't want to be seeing people because it's a fucking nightmare. And they just like they're so like, what's the word when you're is it bougie when you're like, or they think they're like
bougie,
yeah. So now I'm trying to now they won't eat anything but fucking steak and rice and chicken. It's so annoying. Like they're bodybuilders. Show dog food and then they will look at you for hours and just like, oh fuck's sake.
Joey, what's the plans for like this next phase now then? How long are we looking to you and Daryl obviously talked about it.
Yeah. So I'm leaving it all in Darren's hands because I think as soon as the best thing for me is taking my thoughts out of it. And since I've been putting everything with him, it's been working wonders. So I'm currently in the health phase.
Yeah.
I, hopefully blood's come back good after 4 weeks of that, because I wasn't pushing anything. I should be able to start pretty quickly.
Yeah.
We're looking to do a minimum of 6 mini pushes before I get to the point of being ready for stage over the course of the next, basically this time in 2 years, without needing to sort of mini cut back, just digestion check, like cutbacks, because he wants to keep me as super tight within pretty much with the condition I'm currently in now, which is like, I'm excited about because I want to stay lean.
Yeah.
Also, I've got that, I can't get fat because you get unhealthy again. It's like part of it is keeping my body fat low so I can actually give myself a more chance to gain body weight.
Yeah.
And like I said, touching on the Nathan Epler thing, that was Darren who said that. Because I was like in my head thinking, I know I could easily get up to the 270 I know I can do that. I've got the ability to eat that food, and I train well enough, and I've got more room to train even better for myself to get a stimulus to grow. But when he said like, yeah, I reckon 230, 235 on stage, but Nathan Epler style look, and he's getting top 3 in pro shows, I'm like, yeah, do you know what? I actually do like that look. Yes, it's going to be a lot better for my health, and yeah, you could say you're lowering your expectation of where you're going to actually get to, but I think bodybuilding's going back like that, and I personally look to take advantage of that, because if it takes 2 years to get to stage, and in 2 years' time they've moved just like they did with 212. Look where they put 212 last year with Keon.
Yeah.
If they start doing that with the open, which they kind of did a bit with Derek, but I think even more so it can, then I may have a chance with the physique I have. I'm never going to be able to stand next to James Hollinshead and be as big as that guy. I like physically never going to happen.
The structure is so pleasing, bro, and that's what you've got, the small waist, the nice symmetry, and that's just something you need to like you said, take advantage of that, bro. Like,
yeah, because
you're blessed with that, bro, because not everyone, like we said earlier, has the genetics to have that fucking structure. So you make it work in your favor for sure.
Yeah, and I think sometimes we all need to just like understand that, like, you'll agree that when you're, how many pros do some of my favorite pros aren't anywhere near the fucking Olympia, like in terms of the. So although my goals are very sport orientated in terms of why I'd want to get to Olympia, and it's not really anything to do with like fans or like how you're seen, but I suppose that is an important element of it as well, because I think like James Hollinshead is one of my favorite bodybuilders ever. I think he's one of the best. And 95% of that, I know he's not going to win the Olympia, but I really like his personality. So for me, he's somebody that I just think, what a legend. And if I think to myself, well, if I wasn't going to make it to the Olympia, like how I see like Mia being one of the best in the world, I might, if I don't see myself as being like that, would I want to see myself as being one of the most liked or respected, or someone who motivates, like James Hollinshead motivates me as a person? That'd be a personal win. That'd be a nice feeling. If some kid thought as highly as me as I do of James Hollinshead, wow, like that's like, maybe that's better than winning the Olympia sometimes.
There's probably some kid out there already does, bro.
Well, yeah, I don't know about that.
You know what I mean? But yeah, you'd be surprised, mate. Like, people don't know all these big bodybuilding names and stuff, but they'll know like you because they've seen you in the gym and they follow you and they just think, oh my God, look at this fucking guy. Like, I mean, because what it's like when you first get into bodybuilding, you see a big guy and they all look the same. Do you know what I mean? Type of thing. And so then they have a little follow on social media and they think, oh yeah, you're massive, oh, look, he's a cool guy, he's brilliant, but they're not really in the bodybuilding realm, so they don't look like the top 10s and the top 3s, but then they still have the appreciation of who you are as a person and stuff like that. So there's like loads of different, so yeah, and I think that's a good outlook, bro, because like you don't want to just push too hard either, like, I mean, and you want to do what's best for you, your physique. I mean, you have got a fucking sick look, and I think that, yeah. Sounds like a good plan, bro. Very good.
Everything happens for a reason as well. And the fact that, like, for health reasons, you're not going to be able to push up is probably better for you, because, like, you get to keep that structure, you get to keep those proportions now, instead of trying to push up. Like, I've seen you, obviously, when you went to, like, 280 before. And obviously, it's like a blown out look, isn't it? It's not your greatest look. Like, obviously, you look pretty, you look in the shape and whatever is really, really nice. You want to keep that. So you want to keep, obviously, your waistline and everything intact to keep the flow of your physique there, like, and just build up on the body parts that obviously you know already, you mentioned your arms and stuff, like if you build the arms to bring the arms up with the rest of the physique, like even that is going to make an incredible difference to the look, like, do you know what I mean? So having the being forced to actually do it healthily, I think it benefits you like even more. Like the good thing about you is your structure. So you don't ruin that by actually pushing that. Like, it's
Yeah, if anything, the structure can get ruined by the more I've got in, that more I'm using in a weird way. Because, like you said, when I was big or putting a lot of weight, I thought my waist was gone. Like my waist is actually about 42 inches normally. When I was on stage the other day, you would have thought in comparison, it was like I had high 20s, wouldn't you? You're still like 34 inches. I haven't got a thin waist. I've just got a fucking crazy ratio compared to there. So it gives the illusion of the thin waist. My actual waist is pretty wide, like, like I haven't got these like 28-inch
Wide
waists.
that way though, or front to back as well? Because this is what,
That's what Mia
this
said.
is what I find with the illusion, and like even with bikini girls now, like they feel they got like small waist, same with men's, but their waist suits like so they're thick from front to back, but their waist is narrow that way, which gives the illusions. And then obviously you're posing like you really good pose. So so it's one of them, and like we're all built slightly different, like doing, and your waist is, mate. Yeah, I think I've always looked at your waist and thought, fuck yeah.
Well, I think the key thing is I was a fat kid and I was always sucking my stomach in. Always. I felt fat, sucking my stomach. And like I was doing vacuums before vacuums were a thing. So I've got an incredibly strong transverse abdominis, like through being like insecure. And when I first ever lost weight, like when I was like 16, because I finally had enough, like I literally could touch my fucking spine with the back of my abs. And then as I've gone up, I just feel like it's just I've got this really strong ability to do that. Like I can't even do a full vacuum anymore. But where everyone normal bodybuilders have like, and we all know this happens, we have like this almost looks like you've got like ab implants because it goes over. Mine's still kind of come in, so I have like a classic abs, but I do actually have now the bodybuilding size. So it's like it's luck, it's genetic structure, whatever. But that front double bicep, when I look at it, it's like, oh yeah, as long as I've got I still might have the biggest legs there, and then it makes my taper look better. But all it's missing is I need to add that thickness to just make that so much more impressive. And the picture you sent me of Martin Fitzroy, I didn't realize, he fucking does do exactly the same thing. Slight vacuum on his abs. His waist is tiny. The only difference is he looks like a Michelin man because he's full of muscle up top. And I look skinny up top at present. So, but I'm like, yeah, that's what it could look like. So that's why it's like, I need to dedicate any of you boys who want to ever train arms or delts. So, when you train with someone that you have to push it a little harder, I'd happily train. Like, even if it's just a who's dick's bigger contest for the day to train as hard, because I just need constant sessions non-stop. Every session needs to be like, it's the last one I'm ever going to do from now for the next, 53 weeks in a year? Was it more than that? For the next 100 weeks minimum, there's not a fucking bad arm session being done. Do you know what I mean? And when I come back, and I'll say it here first, and we'll come back to what's this podcast in 2 years' time, I'll probably have my best body part will probably be my arms by the time I get on pro stage. I'm that motivated. I'm going to go to bed every night imagining them being the best.
Bro, how do people not enjoy training arms? I fucking love training arms.
I'm not a massive fan. I think it's because I tag them on the end of everything though. So like when I'm doing it, I'm like, oh fuck, I'm fat. Like just do like
I've always enjoyed fucking arm session, man. Always.
Yeah, but you've got fucking massive arms. That's why.
Because he takes that picture in
his arms are vascular. Yeah. 5. You just like
I swear it is what you have that's good though. You enjoy training, don't you?
Yeah. I love training shoulders, like, and I always have, like, and obviously that will show as well, like. But man, I do a shoulder session, it's fucking my heart rate's higher than my leg session. My fucking hell, what's going on?
Mentally,
they need to go out for that. So,
yeah, I think legs is the one I like training the most, but it's like seasonal with that as well because, like there's different types to train legs. I've always just trained legs like fast and hard. I don't really lift heavy weights. I'm weak as piss. Like I don't lift strong amount. I know a barbell squat or nothing, but that intensity of that I think my body responds really well to that like volume intensity, but then the arms don't. So like You know, like me, it's like I don't necessarily have to lift a lot of weight. I just have to like make myself work hard and use different like drop sets, supersets. If I do that to my arms, it's just like kind of like it just feels like it's not enough. I think I need to actually get strong as fuck with my arms.
Yeah.
And just really like to be consistent. Darren's going to do obviously a proper program for it, which I'm excited to do because I've never followed a training plan for longer than like 3 weeks max. I just go into the gym, decide what I want to do on the day, add some intensifiers. Normally, I'll be honest, when I train on my own, I would say I train a lot harder because it's easy. I find it difficult to train with people and match intent and get a solid intensity. Because, you know, if someone says to me, come on, do 2 more, I just want to punch them in the face. I don't, it doesn't motivate me. Like, I don't enjoy being told to like do more reps because 9 times out of 10, they're not actually watching my set. They can't actually see I'm already at a point of failure. Or I might be taking like a little rest to do a little rest pause and like, come on, 2 more. That sort of thing bothers me. And I don't know if that's a personal thing that I need to sort out. But like, I'd much rather, unless I'm training with my mate, I'd much rather just, yeah, like
I get what you mean, and I get sets where I get fucked off, bro. Like if someone will say something, or
yeah,
really fucking, or someone goes to touch it, and I want them to, and I get that, and I know what you're saying is like sometimes you just put your fucking headphones on and train with someone and just not really fucking listen to what they're saying.
yeah, you have to get used to it, don't you? Because it's really annoying. Like, come on, 1 more, and I'm like, I don't know why, but that doesn't fucking work for me. Like, especially like if like you know that it's kind of like they're just regurgitating, like basically watching Dorian's videos and trying to be that guy, or I don't know. I think it's different if it's somebody that's above you though, big time. If I was getting James Ellen's head telling that to me, I'd fucking lift. To respect.
Yeah, you're like, shut up, you little dickhead. What the fuck are you talking to?
Yeah.
I can fucking do one more if I want.
I'd love that. I'd love like that's different because like, I remember Neil Hill used to do it, boys. Like when me and Lloyd when we were growing up, and he'd literally have Bonac in there, obviously flex beforehand, but Bonac was the main one. I remember being like full on training, and Neil would be like stopping his session, go come because he knew Lloyd was doing the Y3T program. Lloyd's obviously his nephew, and he'd be like, would be on the lat pull down, and he'd have my hands on there doing a set until my fucking fingers had lost the skin, doing week 3 total annihilation. And I was like, but you just did it because it was Neil like, and then like obviously Brandon Curry down there doing hamstring kills back in 2008, like when he's with BSN, like asking Neil to like stop because Neil was like fucking him up, and you're just watching. It's like that is different. Like I love that, but I don't know. It's like it's different now. That's what you're prepping. You just don't want to be fucking told anything by anyone, do you? Whatever someone says to you in the prepping, you want the opposite. Fuck them, right?
Yeah. Me as well, because I'm used to training on my own. Like, I'm like, they'll be doing a set, and I'm just like thinking about my next set, looking in the mirror, I got my headphones in, and I'm like, oh, fuck, sorry, but then it's just like me getting in the zone because you're not used to training with someone, and you don't need that push. You know, when you do train on your own, and you know where your failure is, you know where you can push, you know what you can do, and you know when you're having a fucking good set as well. Yeah, so it's one of them as well, isn't it? I think you've got to find a good training partner, trainer, or like vibes with you and like what you need type of thing, innit? Because yeah, if someone
I'll be honest, if I'm fucking training with someone, I'll just be arrogant and just get on with my set anyway. I'll still do the music on and just sit there for a minute or two to get into my set, whether I'm training with someone or on my own.
Yeah.
The session is the session, innit? And that's what you're gonna have to do now, Joe, is like obviously you're getting on this training plan. Is like fucking
in. It's got come and train my plan.
You're training for yourself, so it's fucking important that you do what you need to do.
Because I never do that.
Take away from that session, or take away from your environment, or like if someone's coming to train with you, bro, and they're not working hard, they're not pushing you, they're not bringing that energy. It's important that you're there to focus on yourself. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I think that's something I'm definitely going to start doing because like if I go and train with someone, I'm like, oh yeah, I'll follow your lead, no matter who it is.
Yeah.
And I'm not like saying that in like a funny way. It's just I've always been like, yeah, I'm happy to do whatever.
People again. That's a way of pleasing someone. They're like, oh yeah, I'll do what you're going to do. Where you need to put yourself first, like, right, and this is what I need to work on. This is what I'm doing. If you want to jump in, sound. If not, see you in an hour and a half when I finish my session. Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
Because you're happy as well, Joe, to do like the same, like any sort of training plan. So you're happy to do volumes. So like it's a case of now when Darren gives you his plan, like you've just said yourself, you've never been able to stick to a plan longer than 3 weeks. So this needs to be the one that you go, right, here we go, I'm fucking sticking to this now. Whether it means logbooking or whether it means, I know Andy's looking at me fucking funny since I said that, but still,
Oh, no.
he doesn't like
Yeah.
the logbook.
I don't mind, bro. Like, you know the thing with me, bro? I couldn't give a fuck if you love a logbook or you don't. I don't give a fuck what works for you, And I'm one of these people, like, I'll never tell someone you shouldn't be doing that. I'm like, yeah, cool. You do what you need to do. I'll do what I need to do. And this is why I get pissed off, like Jay knows this, about people that dictate on fucking Instagram. This is the way to do things. Wait, shut the fuck up, man. There's 100 ways to do it. Like, you do you, I'll do me. And I have no problem with if someone, or if you say, like, eating donuts is the best thing post workout for you, then crack on. Like, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that you're wrong. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like that's me all over though. I'm just like chilling, doing my thing. I let you do your thing, and then everything's cool. I'm not going to have an opinion on that. Do you know what I mean? I have an opinion, but not a personal opinion on you do your thing for you. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
I think that's very much like, you know, I see people say that's the only way. Where I get annoyed is where people say you have to do it this way.
Yeah, as you said, there's more than one way to skin a cat, and
yeah.
you have to do what works for you, what gets you actually like excited for the session, I suppose, isn't it? Like I know you put on there the other day, obviously about tripods and stuff as well, didn't you? Obviously, like people training with tripods and that taken away from their session, which I do agree can definitely happen with some people. Like I like having a logbook just because, like, obviously I've been doing a bench program lately, and knowing what my numbers are and what, like, going in the gym, like yesterday I went in there, it was like 175 sets of three, and I was nervous.
Praying before the set.
Yeah, I know I took a piss of that, but like, I was nervous going into the sessions, you know what I mean? And that, like, I used to play football obviously for years when I was a kid, and the pre-game nerves, that's the only way I can like make it relevant to training. Is I used to love those pre-game nerves, like that would get me amped up for the game, and like that's how I would have the best or bring the best out of me. So knowing that I'm going to the gym like scared about what I'm going to lift because I'm like, I've never touched that before, like that excites me, like, and it gives me that little, like, a bit of adrenaline knowing that I'm going in there to beat myself, like, you know. So
And we are all different as well. We all have different like mental blocks with something that works for us. And like you said about the tripod, you know, someone could put a tripod out and get like 3 more reps because they are recording themselves and they wanna, you know, they wanna fucking put the video and they wanna upload it or whatever, you know. So it may work some people harder, you know, whereas in other people it's like fucking puts them off, you know. So again, it's individual to each person, and it's the same with anything, you know, within the industry. You know, if you're enjoying doing something and you're working and it makes you progress better, then it's definitely worth taking into account and doing it. Like, no matter if it says it's not as good on ABC fucking whatever, do you know what I mean? If it works for you and you're getting more out of it than like what someone else would, then, you know, it's something that you should, you know, do, like, you know.
And it comes down to that important thing you said, Rich, like enjoyment. And I always say to my clients, like, enjoyment is fucking key. Like, if I give a client a diet that they fucking hate, mate, they ain't sticking to it. But if I give them something they enjoy, they're gonna stick to it. It's when they see progress. It's that thing. If you find enjoyment with anything, you'll do better at it, and I believe that as well. So
yeah, definitely. And it's like, again, like if you give someone a diet for like 16 weeks, but they have a 16-week goal and they're fucking on it 100%, they'll fucking do them 16 weeks, but they won't do that fucking diet again. Never. Do you mean? So that, like, but if you give them a diet they enjoy and they do the 16 weeks, and like, do you know what, man, I can carry on with this and keep on doing it. But instead of like just ticking off the days where it's feeling like they've got to do something, you know, finding enjoyment out of the plan is what's going to create that long-term consistency and get you to the bigger goals after that 16 weeks, you know, and the adherence can still be there, you know. Whereas, like, you know, you just got to be, unless you're like totally driven, you've got something you need to do or compete for, you know, like there are so many different variables you can change in a nutrition plan, especially these days, you know, in comparison where I first started competing, it was just plain and simple, you know, like obviously everything has changed now in regards to how a lot of coaches work in regards to training, but you know, there's always a way that will suit someone better than someone else, you know. Like I have clients and they say, like, you know, when you're most hungry, when you know, and if someone says to me, oh, I don't eat till 10, I'll be like, right, I'm going to push me back to 10, because there's no point in me giving you loads of food first thing in the morning and you're going to be starving at night, you know. So, and again, that is individual. But if someone says, oh, as soon as I get up, I need to have food, otherwise I feel shit all day and not that hungry at night, you know, it's going to be the other way around, you know. But obviously, you know, training wise, you know, we prioritize nutrient intake around that time. But again, it's, you know, it's different ways for each individual to get long-term results.
Yeah. Yeah, it's the beauty of coaching, isn't it? That is,
yeah, it is definitely like, so it's not
right for what person, like, and you're going to give them a plan to start with, and you're going to get that response then of like, I can't do this, I can't do it, and you're like, all right, Sam, so what can we do?
What can you do? Yeah,
Um,
definitely.
and you'll always find, like you just said, you'll always find different ways, especially now, especially with nutrition. Like years ago would have been so strict because the knowledge wasn't there to know that basically we can make progress with whatever food, like pretty much. But like it's just portion sizing and obviously knowing
Yeah.
the macros, etc. But with that knowledge there now, you can always make progress no matter what. Like you can just and that's tailoring it to the person. Like I said, it's the beauty of coaching, really.
Yeah, and like you say, like a good plan for someone, they may make a lot of progress over 16 weeks from doing a specific plan, but then their next 6 weeks are going to shit because they back off track. Whereas if you do a plan for 20 or 30 weeks and, that long-term progress then is more because, they're still on it and they're still progressing, whereas they do the 16 weeks, fall back off, do the 16 weeks, fall back off, where they've just run like a year and a half now because they enjoy it and they think, but yeah, maybe they didn't do as much in that 16 weeks as they did but they're still on it and they're still progressing with, so yeah.
I've had a couple of guys come to me recently about like talking about shows next year, and they said like looking to like sign up or whatever for prep, and I've kind of said no, like now or no, because
Yeah.
I want to take control now. Like I don't want you to come to me in however many months left of the year. You should go like south and then come to me, and then I've got to fix that before we even start thinking about you
Being on
getting
trend for 15 weeks, trend for 10 weeks, and then or
and the
like
rest of
put
it.
your diet in for however long, and you're like, fuck no, what am I gonna do here? Hour cardio a day. Yeah,
Yeah.
we will. Yeah. Well,
Boys, I'm going to I've had the missus texting me because we've got this family meal and I've gone over about 20 minutes.
I'm literally just saying, I'm feeling a bit like my blood sugar's low and I'm 3.9 on here, same red, like I need to.
Yeah, you're going, bro. You're going.
But Joey, nice one for coming on, giving us your time, bro. And
Yeah, thanks for having me, guys. Appreciate you listening. I needed to vent, I think.
you definitely did.
Yeah.
Big congrats on the card, bro. Well, obviously we spoke to you in person and stuff anyway, but we'll continue to watch. Obviously, everyone that's watching this, what's your Insta at?
Joey Farrell _ IFBB Pro. Yeah, like I just started doing a bit of YouTube yesterday. It's not great quality, guys. Don't get me wrong, but I am gonna be like, it's like anything. It's like bodybuilding. You start, and then you build it up and you grow. So
the health side, bro. I think
I'm gonna do like some individual stuff, and like I'm gonna get all of the new bloods and then compared to the old one and do a lot more. So I'm gonna do a video for the weekend because I've got a client competing and stuff, and I'm gonna keep on top of it. So that's Joey Farrell IFBB Pro as well, but that's just something that it's gonna become my new little thing that I'm gonna slowly build up because boys, ADHD paralysis will come in. I'll just do it, and then I won't want to do it for ages then. Or like so I need to, before I spend any money, I need to see if I'm actually going to stick at it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, start doing it's like anything. Just start doing it. I've had the conversations with all the boys. You learn as you go away, as you go along. That's how I started, bro. Like, it's all fucking self-taught. I haven't been to school to do this. Like, so just start, and 6 months down the line, you'll be flying.
I think it helps with the routine as well. Like, I feel like if I've got to do couple of days of like a week just recording what I'm, mate, it's just simple. It's like Sam Sulek quality. It's not even quality, but it's like, all right, well, I don't, even if 5 people enjoy it, that's Sam for me.
They don't watch YouTube for quality, they watch it to see what you're doing as well. Like, so people are interested in your prep as well, like, and interested in what, they're not, oh my God, it's not in 4D HK, whatever it is. Like,
HK, that says it all.
What is it, 4K?
4K, bro.
That's it.
Richie got one of them special TVs.
No, but that's it, man. Just get on it, and everyone's going to be wanting to, like, now. Everyone's going to want to see this next 2-year process of you putting this size on and making these improvements for when you make your pro debut. Like, so that's an epic journey to capture. If anything, me and Cheney talked about this the other day about like struggling to like document things when you're not in prep or you haven't got anything cool going on. This is a fucking cool moment for you. And I know for a fact, just from personal reasons, you're gonna want to look back at this in years to come and think, fucking hell, that was such a cool time in my life. Like that's why I've done stuff over the last 8, 9 years on YouTube. Like so, yeah, man, get on it, and we will like, comment, and subscribe and all that shit when you get going on it.
Thank
You've
you
got a
very much.
couple out anyway, haven't you? You've got a couple of vids on
Well,
there.
I put one up yesterday, a vlog rest eating. But I did have a decent YouTube with decent videos. I told you before, didn't I? And it got deleted because somebody reported it. It was back in 2021. So I'm starting from scratch. But Mia's been posting bits on his for the last 2 years. I just thought, you know what, we both need one and we'll do one together as well. Just because, like,
Maybe I need some extra accountability as well, you know,
Yeah.
doing check on a weekly, you know, updates for people.
that's the thing. It'll stop me even thinking about getting fat, mate. Like,
Yeah.
and if I do get fat, people will see why I've got fat, and then I can either excuse for this and the excuse for that, or it's because I was meant to get a bit bigger. And let's just go roll with it and see where it goes. Like, and then once I've, you know, like Jay said, looking back is the key in it. I want to be. I've got my memories for this year, but I didn't do enough documenting. These will live on forever, but now it's time to start documenting it so that my kids can watch it. You know.
Definitely, man. Is it a PCA you're at on the weekend? PCA.
Yeah.
Out of the federation.
I'm outside the venue. Yeah, I am going. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm up there. I might see you up there, so I'm up there with Ryan
Yeah,
Carter.
Yeah, we'll have a good chat there, mate. I'll see you there. I'm
In
only
Manchester on the weekend, yeah.
Yeah, you coming up?
I might do, yeah, actually, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. If you're getting a ticket, right, don't try and get it on PCA website because I had to buy it from the council.
What?
Some dodgy shit. We'll talk about that after anyway. I'll message you in a minute now.
Janie, if you do want to go up, like I'm going up obviously for Ryan Cartwright. If you want to go up together, and then you can obviously go and chill with Joey and that while I'm doing my thing, and then we can come back together if you want. But just
Yes.
I'll tell you what, get out, bro. Cheney, you drive, let Jay invoice Ryan for fuel, and then Jay's fucking quids in.
Oh, this is how Andy's brain works, boys. Watch it. No?
you threw me in the deep end because that's what I was about to do, mate.
Anything, what a bargain hunting, boys. Come on.
Oh, Janie, you drive. I'm working all day on the camera. You fucking drive, and I'll. All right, I gotta go because I'm gonna be divorced. Joey, nice one, brother. All the best with everything, and we'll all be following along.
Nice.
Cheers,
Cheers, guys.
See you in a bit.